Welcome back to the Dakota Dome in Vermillion. We're done with our first game of 3 today. Emory-Ethan over Gregory, 33-14. Coming up here in a little bit, we'll have Colome versus Grant-Duel. And then tonight, in our night game, it'll be the 9A championship between Scotland and Northwestern. Then tomorrow night, it is Sioux Falls Roosevelt against Sioux Falls Washington.
All the 9-man games today. We had the 11-man championships in 11A and 11B yesterday. West Central wins Class 11A, and Tri-Valley wins it in Class 11B. We're halfway through our 3 champions now of the 6 over 3 days down here in Vermillion.
And we have the volleyball championships coming up a week from tomorrow. That's Saturday at the Sioux Falls Arena. All 3 classes for volleyball start next Saturday, starting at 3:30 Central Time. Let's send it down to the field and Tom Neiman.
All right, thanks guys. Wayne Carney, the Executive Director of the High School Activities Association. You need to be woken up once in a while. We were just talking a little bit. Good, excellent crowd for that 9AA championship game.
Yeah, I think the 9-man schools always follow their teams. You know, it's a great experience for not only for the athletes that are playing for the game, but the fans that get to come down and support them. And I'm just kind of guessing they probably support them that way all year. And today obviously is no exception. The weather cooperated, and it was a beautiful drive down, I'm sure, for everybody. And it was a fun game to watch.
One of the things that's changed this year is not everybody can rush the field right away. We got to wait for the awards and things like that. Talk about what's the reasoning, what's the thought behind that?
Well, we've been talking about that for 3 or 4 years. We're one of the few states in our area that used to let them rush the field or the court. An incident happened this year, well, matter of fact, last school year, down in state of one of the southern states, where they were rushed the field, and a young lady got knocked down in the bleachers and ended up having a catastrophic insurance claim, broke her neck, paralyzed from the waist down. She'd had a full ride scholarship to UCLA, high school senior, and obviously that ended that dream. And we've talked about it for years, you know, just how lucky we've been, especially in the basketball tournament, more so maybe kids coming out of the bleachers and somebody not getting knocked down and run over and getting injured. And then with the football, it was always you know, when the awards were being given, you couldn't find the players, you couldn't find your outstanding lineman or back, and the Joe Robbie Award winner that kind of got lost in the shuffle. Where now, people I've talked to said, you know, we kind of questioned whether this was going to be good or not, but I think everybody's been, the teams have had an ample opportunity to congratulate each other, which is obviously very, very important to us. The coaches doing the same thing, and then hand out the awards in a, you know, kind of a more peaceful manner. If peaceful is the right term or not, but I think everybody that I've talked to said, you know, this is really working out well. That means our administrators have done a great job during the year. We started this last fall, you know, letting them know that this is what's going to happen during district, region, and state tournaments. And this is working out exceptionally well, so we're very pleased.
It's not a fan punishment in any way whatsoever. It's not some evil plot by Wayne Carney and his guys to try and keep it. There's the good logic behind it.
Well, we hope to make it safer, number one, and number two, more dignified. I think that was the term I was looking for. It's more dignified. The kids get the chance. You know, before you had kids from the student section running down to congratulate the players. The players, in turn, were trying to get through the line. Somebody gets, you know, obviously there's a lot of jubilation on one side, maybe a little not quite as much on the other side, the team that just lost. Somebody comes down and gets bumped or gets knocked down, and this way, none of that. You eliminate all that, and we just think the parents up in the stands, I think, get a chance to see their sons, their daughters, their grandchildren going through the line and actually getting their awards. So
and it'll be that way for all the other sports. It'll be that way for volleyball next week. It'll be that way for basketball.
Correct. And matter of fact, in volleyball and basketball, the first and second place teams will actually have their medals draped this year, like we do in track. So that'll be kind of special too, I think.
Let's talk about 2 activities, cheer and dance for one. We have those coming up tomorrow, I believe, down in Yankton, right? First year, it's going to be a cheer and a dance competition for the first year?
Yep, there's 2 competitions. This is the first year that it's come under the auspices of the Activities Association. We've had a number of schools that have had cheer and dance competitions probably for 3, 4, 5 years. And our equity study committee, we surveyed our schools and said, okay, if we were looking at adding something, cheer, dance, soccer, for boys and girls, softball for the girls, baseball for the boys. And the survey came back is that cheer and dance was the activity of choice of our schools. So with that, Ruth Rain did an excellent job in her committee of putting together the guidelines, how it was going to run and everything. We had some great competitions this fall. I went to one up in Brookings, and it was pretty much full. The gym was full. Obviously they'd have all the bleachers out because of the mat space needed. And now it's culminating in our first state cheer and dance competition tomorrow at the Summit Center in Yankton, starting at noon. And I think if those people that go, I think are going to be pleasantly surprised at the enthusiasm. It's really a high impact, high enthusiasm event, and I think everybody's going to really enjoy it.
And you touched on soccer briefly there. Another huge participation sport, obviously. What's the status of soccer? Is it eventually going to be a sanctioned sport or not?
Yeah, the board at our last meeting a week ago, Wednesday, on the 31st of October, voted to adopt soccer, boys and girls, as a sanctioned activity in the 2010-2011 school year. So that gives our schools 3 years to get their plans ready. A lot of them already have it. There is a state soccer tournament for both boys and girls that's being run by the clubs right now, by the State Soccer Association. So all that machinery is kind of in place already. I think the biggest thing in my mind and our board's mind is, when is it going to be? Will it be a fall sport? Will it be a split season, boys in the one season, girls in the other? Will it be kind of like golf right now, where we have the AA and A boys playing in the fall, and then the AA girls and the A girls and the Class B, both boys and girls, in the spring? That we don't know. We'll take this back to the athletic directors meeting in March, and our schools will have plenty of time to visit about it and talk about it. Some of the schools that were at the meeting in October, some of them wanted it in the fall because they don't play football. Freeman Academy doesn't play football, so they'd like to have it in the fall. Custer was there, they'd like to have it in the spring. Some would like to split seasons, so the same person could coach the boys in one season and the girls in the other season. Some said it really helped the situation with officials if they weren't in the same season. Yet right now, they are in the same season. They're both in the fall. So, there'll probably be as much and maybe more discussion on that when the season's going to be than what it was to whether we should do this or not.
And you'll end up making everybody happy eventually, right?
Oh, without a doubt. We take great pride in making everybody happy.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Wayne Carney.
Tom.
All right, guys, back to you.
Yeah, Wayne does a great job as the executive director of the South Dakota High School Activities Association, and it's not easy pleasing everyone and the people that are on the board as well. Thanks to all of the time and effort that they put in running the High School Activities Association.
Yeah,
I'm Craig Maddock. Joining me in the booth is Mike Henriksen from SportsMax Radio.
And Craig, that's a great point, because Wayne brought up there are so many schools with such diverse sizes and diverse needs in this state. We see it geographically, we see it size-wise. It really is a juggling act for the South Dakota High School Activities Association to put in place what is best for the majority of the schools and to get input from those schools. And I think the fact that they're going to sanction soccer, I think that's pretty big news.
The question, is it going to be in the fall or the spring? I think I like the fall. You see a lot of kids who will play both sports, soccer and football. It would seem to me they could probably get a better season in if they go in the fall than they would like golf in the spring. Sometimes the weather isn't very conducive for you to get a full season in.
Yeah, that's true, and it doesn't matter to me one way or the other, because we're not a soccer family. So, whenever they decide that this is one that I'm going to stay out of. So, but yeah, it is going to be a tough discussion. But again, the board always emphasizes this, that all of the decisions come from the bottom up. They start with the recommendation committees. They have people discussing that. Then it goes through the administrators, through the athletic directors, and on up to the board themselves. And that's when the board makes the decision. So it's not something that they're sitting on high and casting down. It comes from the grassroots.
We have the 9B championship to come. We will preview that when we come back to the DakotaDome in Vermillion on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
The 2007 South Dakota High School Football State Championships are brought to you in part by your membership in the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting, by Dakota Bank, and by Mid-Continent Communications.
Welcome back once again to the Dome in Vermillion, South Dakota, home as always to the high school football championships, and once again this year on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Great to have you along this afternoon as we get ready for another 9-man championship game. It is the 9B championship. Grant-Duel and Colome. Colome back from last year. They got here, did not get the victory, but back again with Kevin Gracer's team, and a couple of high-powered offenses going into this one. It could be a 50-50 game by the end of it with Grant-Duel and Colome. Grant-Duel's been voted #1 in the KSFY television poll most of the season. And let's take a look at the Wildcats from Grant-Duel. The high school is located up in Revillo, South Dakota. It's about 5 miles from the Minnesota border, up in the northeast part of the state, and enrollment right around 50 kids. Take a look at the regular season for Grant-Duel, and they ran the table, and they ran up some pretty big numbers, 40s and 50s in about a half dozen of those wins during the regular season. And then in the playoffs, beat Dolan-Condé in a close game. 14-6 was the final in that one. Beat Campbell County's Express 28-14, and then Harding County in the semifinals 34-8 to get here undefeated to the Dome in the 9B championship game. And when you take a look at the guys in blue, you will see plenty of number 15 this afternoon. That is the quarterback, Dustin Johnson. He has thrown for 16 touchdown passes this year. He has run for another 23 touchdowns on this season. They will get the ball in his hands plenty this afternoon. And let's bring in the Grant-Duel head coach, Troy Gower. And first of all, congratulations on a great season to get here.
Feels awesome to be here, I'll tell you that.
A little bit of tradition there. You guys were here a couple of years ago, champs many years ago, but it's not like it's the first time you guys have been here.
No, it's not, but every time you come in this building, I still get goosebumps. So it's, it's like Mueller said last night from West Central, it feels awesome all over again, So yeah, it's fun to be here. It's exciting. It's exciting for the town, for the kids, for the school, everything.
Do the kids get nerves? I know you got nerves, I got nerves, but do the kids handle it probably better than anybody?
So far they seem to be. They're pretty quiet, but hopefully when we kick it off and start hitting, everything starts flowing back to normal.
Talk about your attack a little bit. I've talked to one coach that saw you play in that Harding County game. Kind of load up in kind of a full house backfield, or what kind of attack do you guys have?
We like to spread it out. I guess you could call it full house. We put the quarterback back in the shotgun with 2 backs next to him. We like to try to establish a run. I think that's going to be hard to do tonight with watching some tape on Colome. They're pretty physical up front, pretty good linebackers, but we can throw the ball a little bit too. So we get you spread out how we want, and we start picking on a few people here and there, and try to keep everybody off balance on the defensive side of the ball.
Both teams can obviously score. It's going to be one of those games where if you get down by a couple of touchdowns, no need to panic, right?
I don't think so, not really. They're very explosive. They're very fast offensively. We've got some speed on our side of the ball too, but I think it's either going to be one of those games that's 14-7, it's a defensive battle, or it's going to be a track meet. I'm not sure which yet.
Either one would be fine as long as you win, right?
Exactly. As long as we come out on the right end of the stick, I'm happy with it.
I appreciate your time, and have a great ball game.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, Troy Gower and the Grant-Duel Wildcats, and for the starting lineups for Grant-Duel, upstairs, gentlemen.
Troy Gower, 12 years at Grant-Duel, and they've been in the playoffs every year that Troy Gower has been the head coach. And we know for a fact that the offense they run, they stole it from Iroquois.
Yes.
After they lost to Iroquois in the semifinals last year, and they pretty much run the shotgun formation, Mike, about 95% of the time.
And the man that is their version of Troy Schoenfelder for Iroquois a year ago is Dustin Johnson, the quarterback. Dustin is 6'1", 175, and a senior, and he is the man who makes that offense go for Grant-Duel. As we've got the defensive starters for the Grant-Duel Wildcats, brought to you by Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield of South Dakota. Larson and Brandt tall and Magadans across the front line. That's some pretty good height on that defensive line. The linebackers are very active. Clint and Quint Holman, they are twins, or brothers, excuse me, not twins, 2 years age difference. That would be news.
To mother.
That's right, yeah. Ethan Robish is the other linebacker, and then Berg and Johnson are the defensive backs for Grant-Duel.
Offensively, again, this brought to you by a well-marked Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Dakota. Dustin Johnson, he is the go-to man, but the guys up front, Robish and Brandt and Holman, they've opened up a lot of holes for everybody here. And of course, Larson and Magadance also helping out to bust open those holes. I'm looking forward to watching this Grant-Duel offense.
Yeah, it should be very entertaining. Of course, we saw the team last year from Iroquois come in and just run it beautifully. But again, that was one of the most impressive performances we've ever seen by Schoenfelder a year ago. Johnson will have plenty of help with Holman and Berg, and then Brandon Rufer is a sophomore that will be the wingback. They'll rotate quite a few players actually in that wingbacks and running back position, but it should be very interesting to see them run this. As we say, Schoenfelder last year did a great job, obviously made an impression, because Grant-Duel is one of those programs, we've talked about them before, Craig, they don't necessarily get to the Dome on a regular basis, but you mentioned it, every year they're in the playoffs. Year in and year out, they're piling up 7-1 regular season records, 8-0 regular season records, getting deep into the playoffs. It is really a heck of a program that Coach Troy Gower has put together for the Wildcats.
Yeah, and Ravillo, you know, they play on an 80-yard field up there in Ravillo. I had a chance to visit Ravillo this year. What a great setting. 80-yard football field right next to a cornfield. And they have built a great football program. They have a lot of kids up there playing 7th grade, 8th grade football into the high school as well, in a town that has set a record, I think, back in 2003 or 1995 when they won the title. At that time, they were the smallest school to win a high school football championship.
And a reminder, too, that Grant-Duel, this is not a co-op, this is not anything. It is named, the school is in Ravillo, and it sits right on the border of Grant County and Dual County, and that's where they got their name.
We will preview the Colome Cowboys when we come back as we get ready for the 9B championship in South Dakota high school football on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
The 9B championship game is coming up on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Tom Neiman, Craig Maddock, Mike Henriksen at the Dome in Vermilion. Great to have you along. We are approaching kickoff between Colome and Grant-Duel, and let's take a look at the Cowboys from Colome. 10-1 coming into this ball game. The only loss of the regular season was to the Avon Pirates, but take a look at the run through the regular season. Just that one loss, and a lot of big numbers, as we saw with Grant-Duel, a lot of big numbers on the winning side for the Cowboys during the regular season, and they carried that right into the playoffs. Beat Menno 54-0 to open up the playoffs. Beat Hanson 42-12 in the second round, and then got by Del Rapids St. Mary's 40-24 to get here to the Dome in the 9B championship game. And we will see a lot of a couple of very talented skill players. Number 42 for the Cowboys is Josh Sherman, the quarterback. He's thrown for 18 touchdowns this season, and Colome can certainly run the ball as well. Derek Beck is number 45, their running back. He has 22 touchdowns coming in to this ball game, and they will spread it out, run, throw a little different formation at you here and again. And Kevin Gracer is the head coach of the Cowboys. Of course, they were here last year, and congratulations. Great to have you back.
Thank you. It is. It's great to be back. It's what you play for, and kids did a great job and got us back here in the Dome and try to redeem ourselves a little bit.
What's back from last year? What did you lose from the team that was here last year?
We return a lot of our skilled kids. We return a lot of speed. Of course, Josh Sherman at quarterback, who's just done a great job in running our offense, and he's a great leader. Like I've said before, he's like a coach out on the field for us. And Derek Beck, a talented halfback. Very quick, good speed, and just the determination to go inside and use his power too. And we also got some very good receivers that Josh likes to throw to. So we'd like to spread it around, use a balanced attack, and hopefully we're able to utilize that today.
And I've seen where you've said your team's very physical too. It's not like you'd have to run around people. Can you run over them too?
Right. We're not that big. but the guys like to play football. You know, they're great athletes, but they're football players, and you can't ask for more when you have an athlete and a football player.
What have you changed as a coach from last year, the experience of getting here last year? Did you any different routines, anything different you're telling them this year that you didn't tell them last year, or what's different?
Hopefully we're better prepared. Definitely, it wasn't the way we wanted to end it, you know, so, you know, we try to keep things normal like we've done all season, and not make it such a big deal to be here. Hopefully, by being here, the kids, you know, this isn't a new thing to them.
Yeah, good luck with that, trying to calm them down once they get here, huh?
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. You know, hopefully they're ready.
Hey, appreciate the time. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, Kevin Gracer and Colome coming in at 10-1 up against Grant-Duel, and the starting lineup for the Cowboys upstairs to Craig and Mike.
Want to mention that Scotland game, they defeated Scotland. Colome had the win. It was 24-6, so it's 10-1. Colome, the Cowboys, taking on the Grant-Duel Wildcats. And when you look at Colome, yeah, I mentioned that this is their second consecutive trip here to the Dome. The defensive starters brought to you by Sanford.
And there you see Todd Sherman, the big man in the middle. He eats up a lot of space, and Berg and Atterbury at the tackles. Cahoy and Beck are the inside linebackers. That's, again, in 9-man, you will find your best athletes usually at those linebacker positions. And Cahoy and Beck are two names that we're going to be calling an awful lot this afternoon, offensively and defensively. In the backfield, the outside linebackers are Sherman and Schwartz, and Schwartz especially will drop back into coverage on several occasions. Then Ethan Vober and Ben Kartak are the safeties for the Colome Cowboys.
Yeah, they go with a 3-4 defense. They apparently think they've got some pretty good, strong outside linebackers to make it a 3-4 defense.
And again, they moved Todd Sherman to the guard there offensively, along with Damon Berg on the other side. But when they want to run for short yardage, they go behind Sherman. Curtis Atterbury, and a very good center as well. Schwartz and Vober are the offensive ends. And then in the backfield, it is Josh Sherman who makes everything happen. And yes, quarterback number 42. That's a number that he's had for a long time, way before he even was a quarterback. Cahoy, Beck, and Kartak are the other skill players for the Colome Cowboys.
Sherman has passed for 1,000 yards. Beck has rushed for 1,200 yards. Rob Cahoy has rushed for about 440 yards. So we'll hear a lot of Sherman and Beck and Cahoy for the offensive spark plugs for the Colome Cowboys.
And you know, Craig, it was very nice. This past year I had the opportunity to go to the Jones County Invitational for the first time ever out in Murdo, and Colome was there, and I had a chance to stand and chat with Kevin Gracer for about a half hour or so. And one of the things that he did say is something that we speculate on quite a bit here in the booth. He said, yes, the first few days losing, you know, at the Dome, it hurts an awful lot. But as the time goes on, you get more proud of what you were able to accomplish. And the kids rebounded well from that. They got shellacked last year by the folks from Iroquois. But if you remember that game, those kids from Colome kept playing hard till that final whistle. I mean, they were never out of it. They never got down on themselves. And this year, their theme has been unfinished business. They really want to come here, play well, pick up the state title, and feel even better about themselves. But second place doesn't look too bad as time goes by.
64-26 was the final last year with Iroquois. They have a title. It was 1988. They also have 3 second-place finishes. More from the Dome when we come back. We get ready for the 9B championship on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Welcome back to the Dakota Dome in Vermillion. From Sioux Falls Sports Radio, KWSN, I'm Craig Maddock along with Mike Henriksen from SportsMax Radio. We'll have this game for you, the 9B championship featuring Colome and Grant-Duel. And then tonight, the 9A championship, defending champ Scotland taking on Northwestern. And Mike, we're just a few minutes away from the kickoff. When it comes to 9-man football in South Dakota, more teams play 9-man football than 11-man.
Yeah, and always when we get to this time of year, people have questions about what qualifies a 9-man school as opposed to an 11-man school. The way South Dakota does it is based on the 112.5 mark of a number of students, and that's in 3 grades. That's how South Dakota chooses to delineate things. If you have 112 students or less, you play 9-man football. Now, there are a couple of schools that are under that, but they choose to go up and play 11-man. But once you get those 81 schools, if my math is correct, you divide those equally into groups of 27. The top 27 are 9AA, the next 27 are 9A, and the smallest 27 that offer football are 9B. So what you've got this afternoon is 2 of the smallest 27 schools in the state of those that offer football.
And when you look at the enrollments, we've seen that Grant-Duel, they have about 50 kids in their, they call it the ADM. It's
right.
Like average daily membership is how they term the counting of the kids, 9, 10, and 11. Grant-Duel is, they have 50 kids. Colome, I believe, was right around 55.
Yep, 55.
Pretty close.
So. And by the way, it's kind of interesting, too, with Colome. We've got a unique dynamic this afternoon because, of course, Gregory, who played the game before, just up the road on Highway 18 down in the south central part of the state. A lot of the Gregory fans have stuck around. It's going to be very raucous for Colome today. Of course, everybody came from Colome. The first year of the playoffs, 1981, the first year that South Dakota had playoffs here in the Dome, Winter, Colome, and Gregory were all in the Dome, so you had Highway 18 covered. Dallas doesn't have a school anymore, or they might have been here too, but it really is. Football is very, very big in that part of the country, and you've really got folks that are dedicated to the sport.
Both of these teams looking for their second football title. Grant-Duel won it in 1995, and I believe what they had the distinction at that time of being the smallest school ever to win a high school football championship. They still would be if they win today. Colome just a tad bigger, if we can use that term. Colome won it back in 1988. They've had 3 second-place finishes. They lost to Bridgewater the very first year of the playoffs. 1987, they lost to Ramona Rutland, and last year to Iroquois.
By the way, that 1987 Ramona Rutland team is having a reunion this year, and everybody is back. It's kind of amazing when you have a team from 20 years ago, and every single member is going to be there. They are greatly looking forward to it. So I'm looking forward to this game this afternoon. By the way, I want to say hello to the folks at one of my affiliates from SportsMax, KSDN. Paul and Holly had me on the air with them this morning, and I certainly appreciate the time, and I appreciate them being part of the sports.
Plug.
Absolutely. SportsMaxRadio.com.
Let's introduce you the 9B participants in this championship. Here's the public address announcer, Greg Merrigan.
On behalf of the South Dakota High School Activities Association, along with its corporate partners, Sanford Health, First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card, Farmers Union Insurance, and Ramkota Hotels, we welcome you to Vermillion for the 2007 State Class B Football Championship game between the Grant-Duel Wildcats and the Colome Cowboys. We remind everyone that good sportsmanship on the part of coaches, players, and spectators is crucial to the future of athletics at all levels. The South Dakota High School Activities Association supports the need for proper behavior on the part of everyone in athletics. Be a sport and support good sportsmanship during the football championship games. At this time, let's meet the cheerleaders for both teams. First, for the Wildcats, Lisa Kroom, Shauna Hulsher, Ashley Larson, Cynthia Tungan, Samantha Sees, and the mascot, Jessica Sees. And now the cheerleaders for the Cowboys. Colleen Cahoy, Kirsten Cahoy, Allie Larson, Caitlin Shippey, Candace Shippey, Katie Wagner, Ashley Widener, and Callie Heath. And now let's meet our starting lineups. First, the offensive unit for Grant-Duel. At center, number 52, Ethan Robish. At guard, number 44, Quint Holman. At guard, number 64, Jamie Brandt. At end, number 35, Isaac Larson. At end, number 42, Andrew Magandans. At wingback, number 10, Brandon Roofer. At quarterback, number 15, Dustin Johnson. At quarterback, at fullback, number 45, Quint Holman. And at tailback, number 22, Jordan Berg. The Wildcats are coached by Troy Gower. And now let's meet the defensive unit for the Colome Cowboys. At nose tackle, number 75, Todd Sherman. At defensive tackle, number 57, Curtis Atterbury. At defensive tackle, number 73, Damian Berg. At inside linebacker, number 34, Rob Cahoy. At inside linebacker, number 45, Derek Beck. At outside linebacker, number 42, Josh Sherman. At outside linebacker, number 38, Mitch Schwartz. At safety, number 40, Ethan Vober. And at safety, number 30, Ben Kartak. The Cowboys are coached by Kevin Gracier. The officials for this 9B championship game. The referee, Jay Larson of Brookings. The umpire, Adam Vall of Brookings. The linesman, Tony Ragnas of Astoria. The line judge, Tom Hauglid of Sioux Falls. And the back judge, Lyle Clausen of Brookings.
The captains from both clubs will be coming out to center field in a moment.
Tom Hogwood, by the way, a Del Rapids native, he's a youngster. I think Tommy's only about 24, 25 years old. So we always mention this, and we should mention it again. Congratulations to that officials crew for making it. This is their state champion. And it's good to see guys like Tom Hogwood getting involved in it and you know, being rewarded for it as well. So nice to see a veteran crew with some youngsters on it.
You get rewarded because you've done a good job during the regular season.
You bet.
No matter what the coaches say.
Winner of the toss is Colome will choose to defer. Grant-Duel will receive. Come on. seconds.
Grant-Duel will get the ball.
So are we 4 for 4 on deferring?
Yes.
After winning the tip?
Yep.
Or the coin flip? Okay.
Dustin Johnson, one of the rare players you'll see in this championship. 1,000 yards, almost 1,000 yards passing, and over 1,300 yards rushing.
He has been an offensive machine this year for Grant-Duel. Looking forward to seeing him on the turf here and on the big field at the Dome. By the way, one other reminder, we were talking about 9-man and what constitutes the 9-man schools. South Dakota, one of only 3 states in the country that play 9-man football. North Dakota and Minnesota go with 9-man football. Most of the other states, if they've got smaller classes, they go with 8-man football, including our neighbors to Iowa and Nebraska. And as a matter of fact, in Nebraska and a couple other states, they even have 6-man classes because some of those schools are getting so small. That is a wide open game, believe me.
Everybody is eligible for a pass in that 6-man football.
Yes, they are.
Ready to go. It is Berg and Holman back deep for Grant-Duel. Bryce Houck will start things off. We're glad to have you with us. This is the 9B championship. This will be picked up by Jordan Berg, and Grant-Duel will have the ball at their own 28. Just a reminder again, Mike, most 9-man teams now pretty much play in a 100-yard field, although up at Grant-Duel at Revillo, they play in an 80-yard field.
And that's always the fun. In years past, especially when there were a lot more 80-yard fields and people would get to the Dome and all of a sudden getting around the corner was a breeze, and that's when we saw some real track meets here.
Dustin Johnson in the gun. Ruther is in motion. And a positive first play is Clint Holman with the catch.
Boy, nothing fancy and just a good play to run to make sure that confidence is there. You complete your first pass. It's an easy one. And you get the Colome defense thinking pass right away as well. So very good call on first down there for Grant-Duel.
That was Magadans with the catch. Wearing number 42. Clint Holman wears number 45. As we got the spread offense for Grant-Duel on 2nd and 5, and Johnson just straight up the middle, finding a gap, and he's going to get a first down.
Ridden down by Jordan Berg, or excuse me, by Josh Herman, and Ethan Vober was in on the tackle as well.
Well, a couple of times in our championships, we've seen one team totally dominate in the first quarter, and then the other team comes back and dominates the rest of the way.
Yeah, big play from Gregory today. And by the way, there were a couple of balls thrown in that game that just couldn't have been thrown any better. That was fun to watch. But Emery Ethan coming from behind to pick up the win.
Didn't get the first down, just 3rd and short. Johnson will throw anyway, but nobody open. Gets a great block from Clint Holman and out of bounds at midfield.
Boy, what a nice job by Johnson of making that decision. No one was open, as you said. He got outside, had enough for the first down, but then Holman with a great block springs him for a lot of extra yards. And the first down for the folks. Take a look as he'll tuck it down now. He sees the lane, and then
nice
boom.
Cut. A nice cut, too.
It was very effective, and a nice block, nice camera work there on the sidelines, folks.
Isaac Larson also with a nice block that sprung Johnson to the outside. 1st and goal, or 1st and 10 from midfield for Grant-Duel. Johnson trying to go out into the flat. His intended receiver, Jordan Berg, overthrew him by a little bit.
One thing you may see if a team isn't as used to playing on the 100-yard field is on those types of pass patterns is just getting the feel for where you are from the relationship of the quarterback. It's a lot different. Of course, the 80-yard field is not only shorter, it's narrower. And so consequently, you may feel like you're still a long way from out of bounds when you've actually run your normal route. It just takes a little bit to get used to.
95% of the time, Grant-Duel will be in the shotgun. Clint Holman standing right next to Johnson. Nice
what a reverse.
Nice stiff arm. 2 stiff arms. And a 15-yard gain for Dustin Johnson.
What a great job of running as he started out right, reversed it, had a nice wall, and then did a lot on his own as well. There's a reason that Dustin Johnson has piled up those incredible stats this year, and we're seeing it on this opening drive.
Coming in for Grant-Duel, Josh Syme. Pretty much, this is, there's some youth on this team, Mike. Syme is a junior, Berg is a junior. 1st and 10. Not much there, the Colome Cowboys. Nowhere to go for Grant-Duel, as the runner that time was Clint Holman.
And a good job by Todd Sherman, the big man, leading the way, 6'5", 250, and a senior. Also a good job defensively by the linebacker, or the end over there, Curtis Atterbury. Sometimes you guess right, and that's what they did there. Nothing doing for Johnson on that carry.
As you see the Colome defense, they run 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers.
Man-to-man coverage on the wideouts here.
On 2nd and 12, the blitz from the outside, but Johnson hits his man. Short though with the 1st down.
Nothing fancy, just a nice slant route, and he got between the quarterback and the defender. Did a good job of shielding him off and picking up a nice reception.
Jordan Berg with the catch. 3rd and inches. And nice shot there of Troy Gower. 94-28 is his record as a coach. All at Grant-Duel.
That's a program.
Quarterback sneak for the 1st down, and pretty impressive first drive of the day for the Wildcats.
Let's see if they give him enough forward progress here for the 1st down. They may have to measure this. Nope, they're going to give it to him. They will officially give him the 1st down.
This would be the 3rd 1st down of the opening drive.
Yeah, they're moving the ball. This is frankly what we kind of expected.
The clock may not stop during this game with both of these clubs. Dustin Johnson.
Running that side, you know that.
Gets a nice block on the outside. And out at the 15. Gain of 8.
Again, getting to the outside, you've got that extra room, and Johnson very quick turning the corner.
Getting some nice blocks on the corner.
He really is, and especially to get around that corner, it's been Clint Holman that has done a great job of setting up a couple of those blocks, and Johnson being patient too, letting those blocks develop.
Hey, how about trips for Grant-Duel in 9-man football? Go the other way though, and Clint Holman with the race towards the sideline. That's going to be a 1st down for the Wildcats.
Is that the first time that somebody other than Johnson has carried the ball? I believe it is.
Dustin Johnson with 4 carries, Clint Holman with 1. That was his 2nd carry.
Oh, that was his 2nd. Okay, yep. But yeah, nice job of running the option. You load everything up to the right side and get the defense over there. Then you run the option left, and Holman is drugged down, but sets up 1st and goal.
Colome defense on their heels right now.
They're going to have to make some adjustments and start turning things more inside. They're going to have to get to the corners quicker.
Quick throw, touchdown! Jordan Berg. That was an impressive opening drive.
That was a very impressive opening drive, and Dustin Johnson had a hand in all of it as he gives the Wildcats the 6-0 lead.
17th touchdown pass for Dustin Johnson.
And that is not something that this Colome defense is used to doing, giving up a long drive like that. This started on the, 22-yard line, I believe.
Going to go for 2. Inside handoff, and Colome, no doubt about it. Curtis Atterbury collars him. No good on the the 2-point conversion.
You know, Craig, we saw in that first game this afternoon, Gregory and Emory Ethan kept failing on their 2-point conversions, and that became an issue, actually. If they would have converted on their 2-pointers, they would have been able to put that game away much earlier than what they actually ended up. Here's the drive, 11 plays, 71 yards, and they eat off 4 minutes and 12 seconds. That's a very, very impressive drive for Grant-Duel Wildcats to start the game. Once again, Colome, of course, only gave up 6 points to Scotland, who's in the championship game tonight in the final game of the year. They rolled Del Rapids St. Mary's. It was 40-24, but Del Rapids St. Mary's scored 2 touchdowns in about the last minute and a half to make that look respectable. They also handled Hanson 42-10. They shut out Minnow 54-0. So they haven't seen an awful lot of points scored against them in this playoff run.
And this Grant-Duel team has scored a ton of points during the season. Well, Colome now, the only team in our 6 classes wearing the green and white uniforms.
Set to kick off for Grant-Duel is Jamie Brandt, the 6'1" senior.
Back deep is Beck and Kartak. And this is going to go out of bounds, and that will bring the flag. And will it go to the 35, or will Colome make him kick it again?
I think they'll take it at the 35. They'll be delighted with the 35-yard line to start this drive. And Craig, we've seen it before where a kick can make a difference when it comes to momentum. They're going to make him kick it again. This surprises me.
Well, 9 men on the field, wider.
Yeah, you got a chance. There's a chance you can go on every play, no question about it. But we'll have to see. They could have gotten it at the 35, but they'll mark it back and
kick out of bounds, re-kick, 5 yards back.
Coach Kevin Gracer feeling pretty good about his offensive players. He's got Beck back there. And is it
Kartak?
Kartak. He was standing sideways. I couldn't spot what the number was.
And here comes the re-kick from Jamie Brandt. Step back. Good coverage by Grant-Duel. But still up to the 42.
Well, paid off. They got 7 extra yards out of the deal. 6 extra yards, I guess.
And for Colome, Josh Sherman, the quarterback, 1,000-yard passer. He's rushed for over 700 yards on the season. Cahoy, the fullback. Derek Beck, the tailback, he has rushed for 22 touchdowns and 1,200 yards.
And Derek was a big factor in that game against Del Rapids St. Mary's, as was Josh Sherman. But Beck was just outstanding.
Sherman with the quarterback keep, and nice gain on their first offensive play of the game.
Good positive yardage, run that option. You had Beck out there on the left side running along with him, but Sherman keeps it himself, turns it upfield.
The ends are Mitch Schwartz and Ethan Vober. And in the wingback, Ben Kartak. Jake Luce in the game for Colome. He's split wide, otherwise I formation. Back again. Just shy of the first down, and Quint Holman, the middle linebacker for Grant-Duel, the first one to at least touch him.
Again, nothing fancy. You won't see any fancy plays out of the Colome Cowboys. They line it up, they pound on you, they hit you hard, and they just basically match it up, as opposed to the spread offense that Grant-Duel is so effective at.
3rd and less than 1. Sherman, the quarterback, will keep it for the first down. You know, Colome's right side of the line has check that has Todd Sherman. He's the big 6'5", 250-pound senior. So but that time they ran away from his side.
Yeah, they've gone to the left a couple of times, as a matter of fact.
And a timeout called.
Yeah. Not sure. I didn't see any indication on who called it. Check the board here and see if they pop it up. Want to remind you, log on to sdpb.org. You can discuss the game. They've got the discussion board on there. Plus, you can even go back and take a look at old games. They've got archived games at sdpb.org. Plus, a lot more information. You can find out programming information, including No Cover, No Minimum, which makes its return to South Dakota Public Broadcasting on Saturday night. So we're looking forward to seeing you at the discussion board and more on sdpb.org.
And tonight, the 9A championship, Scotland and Northwestern. Coverage on South Dakota Public Broadcasting, 7 o'clock Central, 6 Mountain.
Looking forward to that game. That should be great fun this evening.
Don't know who called the timeout yet, Mike.
No.
They did not take any of the timeouts off of the scoreboard of either club. 1st and 10, Colome. Rob Cahoy gets his first carry, and he is buried. Quint Holman again, the middle linebacker for Grant-Duel on the stop.
Great job defensively by Grant-Duel. They plugged up that hole in a hurry and hustling hard to the football. Good job. Yeah, I don't think the folks in the official scorers booth saw it indicated either who took that last time out.
Well, normally we get the announcement from the officials, and now it is Josh Sherman, the quarterback, has to come out of the ball game. Whether he has maybe some blood.
That's what I'm thinking. It's got to be a blood issue.
They saw some blood on his hand or elbow, and they had to bring him out. And so who are they going to bring in as their quarterback? And now a timeout taken by Colome.
Wow. They're going to obviously get Sherman taken care of here and get him back into the game. Huh.
Well, that's
2 timeouts here in a row. That's
well, they had blood on the jersey, so they're going to give him another jersey. So he's got a new number. Number 90 will be now Josh Sherman.
No.
Was it?
This is Grant-Duel.
Grant-Duel.
Was that Holman? No, there's Holman. Now we got to figure out who took off that number. Yeah, one of the Grant-Duel players had blood on him from Sherman. So they get that taken care
I'll
of.
put Tom Neiman on that story.
Yeah. Neiman, you're working the sidelines. Maybe you can find out for us what. Well, we'll see where number 90 lines up. That'll help us out an awful lot.
That'll help. The folks from Revillo on the way down to the Dome today. And the folks from Colome. 2nd down and 9 now for Colome. Josh Sherman is back in at quarterback. Derek Beck with a nice hole. Close to another 1st down.
Nice burst that time by Beck, going through the left side of the line, gets it down to the 35-yard line. He'll be just shy, but it'll be 3rd down and short.
This is the first offensive series for the Colome Cowboys. Grant-Duel had their first series, and they took it all the way for a score. Missed the 2-point conversion. Up the middle to Rob Cahoy. Cahoy will get the 1st down inside the 30.
And for Grant-Duel, I believe it's Magadans that switched numbers. the left defensive end.
Andrew Magadans, who's now number 90 on your screen.
I believe so, anyway. He's on the left side of the defensive line.
And he's a big part of that defensive front.
Yep.
Grant-Duel goes with a 4-3 defense. 1st and 10, Colome. Here's the pitch to the outside. Mitch Schwartz, I believe, was that behind the line of scrimmage? So technically that would be a rush.
Yeah, to me that looked like it went backwards, so that would be a rushing attempt. But a nice play, very effectively run and well executed by Colome.
First touch by Schwartz today.
Take a look. That ball went maybe parallel to the line of scrimmage, but it sure didn't look like a forward pass.
We'll see how they officially score it here on the Daktronics score sheet that you can watch at sdpb.org.
Sherman going out of the shotgun.
Got out of some trouble. Gain of only 3.
Boy, the hole was there for a moment, but Grant-Duel did a great job of swarming in and making the play.
Yeah, Sherman tried to bust it to the outside.
16-yard line.
Nothing special about these offenses, Mike.
Pretty basic, especially for Colome. A lot of off tackle, little option.
2nd down and 7 from the 15. The pitch to Beck. Evades 1, 2. And a late flag.
Yep, this is coming back. There was an illegal block right at the line of scrimmage by Colome. So this is going to be coming back. Had a hold on the Colome Cowboys.
First penalty of the game.
And a lot of times you'll see a flag that happens away from the play. In this one, this is what allowed Beck to actually get up the field. So it was number 90, and by the way, Jamie Brand. It's not Magadans. It is a hold against Colome, so Jamie Brandt is now wearing number 90.
Yeah, so the Jamie Brandt family watching on South Dakota Public Broadcasting looking for number 64. He's now number 90.
Tough spot now for the Colome Cowboys, 2nd and long.
Spread out that Grant-Duel defense. Short drop. Overthrown his intended receiver, Mitch Schwartz.
And boy, what a play defensively by Andrew Magadans. He came in and disrupted that. A good job by Sherman of getting away from him and even getting that pass off. But Magadans came in from the defensive end position and comes up with a nice defensive play, and now it sets up 3rd and long. So the Cowboys had been churning up the yards on their first possession, but that penalty puts them in a tough spot.
By the way, thanks to Tom Neiman for working the sideline.
One of the hardest working men in show business, our own Tom Neiman.
3rd and 20. Ben Kartak split wide. Sherman airs it up, and it's tipped away, intended for Ethan Vober. Jordan Berg back deep, as well as Dustin Johnson for Grant-Duel.
Yeah, good coverage that time by Grant-Duel, and really only 2 receivers out in the pattern. The defense was set up for it. Now it brings up 4th down and 20 yards to go.
Don't see a lot of field goals in 9-man football.
Nope, you don't.
Just air it up, air it out.
Nice effort there by Bober. He came pretty close to coming down with that ball.
4th and 20 for the Colome Cowboys. Sherman dumps it off. It's complete, but it's not going to be good enough for the 1st down. Jake Luce with the catch. And it's going to be turned over on downs to Grant-Duel.
Colome had everybody going to the left side. Luce didn't go far enough down, though, to pick that up.
Timeout on the field as you're watching the 9B championship on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Welcome back to the DakotaDome in Vermillion. A nice crowd this afternoon. The 9B championship.
Of course, this is the second year that they have gone to 3 days for the championships, and they have the 9-man day along with the 11A and 11B, which was yesterday. But they figure that a lot of these 9-man fans are interested in the other 9-man games. And, you know, you've got a situation where Colome, Gregory, and Scotland all played each other during the course of the year. I mean, you do have that intermingling of the teams that have taken each other on. Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Grant-Duel with their second possession of the game. They're going to use the spread offense. Johnson. Boy, Dustin Johnson just stayed very patient. The catch by Andrew Megadans.
And no pressure whatsoever by the Cowboys. That really surprises me that they have not put any pressure on Johnson at all. That's a great job by the Grant-Duel offensive line.
Johnson 4 for 5 passing and 29 yards. This will be the formation virtually every time for Grant-Duel. Johnson gets splattered after a couple of yards.
Nice job by the defense there of reacting to the run.
Bottom of the pile, Josh Sherman, the outside linebacker.
But yeah, this is a very effective offense for the Grant-Duel Wildcats. They ate up 4.5 minutes on their opening drive with a 71-yard drive. Now they're working their way out of deep in their own territory.
Second and 8. Whoops, and a timeout called by Troy Gower. Didn't like the setup that he saw. Interesting, Mike, that Grant-Duel.
Timeout, Grant-Duel, first timeout.
And Colome saw a lot of that Iroquois team last year that won the championship. Grant-Duel played Iroquois in the semifinals last year, and they got whooped 52-22. And Troy Gower said he stole this offense they have now from Iroquois in that ball game. Of course, Iroquois goes on to defeat Colome in the finals last year.
Yeah, it was, and that's the funny thing about Troy Gower. I mean, the guy's piled up 90 wins, and he's not afraid to toss out his old offense. You know, I mean, that's really a credit to him as a coach that he sees something that he likes better and decides to go with it. And you have to understand as a coach, which Troy certainly does, that you've got the bodies to run that offense. And with Dustin Johnson as the key man in the offense, they certainly do. Don't forget, you can go online at sdpb.org.
It is second down and 8 for Grant-Duel. Quarterback keeper by Dustin Johnson. Nice cutback. And he's going to get the first down, another run of 10 yards.
Big pickup by Johnson and a good job of going into the lanes. A great job of establishing the lanes by the Wildcats.
7 carries for Johnson, 53 yards. Already 6 first downs for Grant-Duel here in the first quarter.
And both these teams are gobbling up the clock. Colome had a nice long drive, but the holding penalty really hurt them. They ended up turning it over on downs.
Wildcats got it first and 10. This time they hike it to Brandon Rufer, and Rufer slices up the right side with a gain of 5.
First time we've seen that. 5'9", 150-pound sophomore gets the direct snap and essentially uses Johnson and Holman as his pulling guards on that. Picks up a nice chunky yardage.
Josh Syme comes into the ball game with the play. This shotgun offense, almost similar to what the Sioux Falls Washington Warriors run, except Grant-Duel doesn't do the no huddle.
Right. Yeah, you'll see that offense coming up tomorrow night here on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
Down the middle, and that one is incomplete. Tried to get to Magadans.
And that time, the Cowboys got a little bit of pressure on Johnson, plus they were able to get their arms up at the line of scrimmage too. That's really the first time that he hasn't that he's been uncomfortable at all in the pocket.
Yeah, that pass was right into 3 Cowboys. Probably a good thing he bounced it in. Didn't see too much for happy feet for Dustin Johnson either. He's able to just sit back there and be patient. This time under center. Back to pass. Looking, and now catches it to Magadans. First down.
What a play. What a great job of staying with it by Dustin Johnson. And what a great adjustment by Magadans of going across the formation and floating along with his quarterback. There you see the rollout to the right side. Magadans is coming over and takes the hit, holds on to the ball before he's wrestled down by Ben Kartak.
Back in the gun. The pitch is to Clint Holman, and a loss on the play.
That time the Colome Cowboys got outside and didn't allow Grant-Duel to get there. The Cowboys were there first. They have to be more effective at that as the game wears on.
Unofficially, 102 yards of offense already for Grant-Duel, 58 for Colome. And maybe one more play here in the first quarter. Second and 11. Well, did someone move or did someone get drawn off?
I believe that that's 5 free yards for Grant-Duel. Yep.
Offside. Defense. Offside. Defense.
5-yard penalty, second down and 6. Don't think they're going to get this play off.
With the way the Grant-Duel has been chewing up yardage, you can't afford to give them any free stuff.
That's the end of the first quarter. It's the 9B championship on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Great delegation from Colome here in the DakotaDome as we've finished one quarter of the 9B football championship here in Vermilion. I'm Craig Maddock along with Mike Henriksen,
Craig,
Tom Neiman as well, and the rest of the staff of South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
Which, by the way, they've been doing a great job, and we certainly appreciate being a part of the coverage. Craig, we've seen the last 2 games here where the first quarter was not an indicator of the rest of the game. Colome needs to make some changes here and get this tide turned.
Second down and 6 for Grant-Duel. Johnson will kick it to the flats. Jordan Berg gets the first down. That would be the 8th first down of the game for Grant-Duel.
They are just really, really in sync here to start the football game. Very effective, mixing up the run and the pass, going outside. Very, very well designed offense and well executed.
And good decisions being made by Dustin Johnson.
Boy, that's a huge part of it. If you've got your quarterback making good decisions, good things happen.
Single coverage at the bottom of your screen, but they'll go on the quarterback keeper, and a couple of yards for Dustin Johnson.
That time he was being trailed by Brandon Rufer. Looked like he was going to go with the pitch, but Rufer was covered up, so Johnson just kept it himself. Minimal amount of gain, but one of those plays where you're not tossing it back and having the ball loose on the ground or bad things happening.
Dustin Johnson with 8 carries, 56 yards. Clint Holman, 3 carries for 10. Brandon Rufer, 1 carry for 5. Josh Symes split, as well as Andrew Magadans. Boy, there's some hitting going on down there. You can hear it with our on-field microphones. A couple of yards for Dustin Johnson.
Nice job to open it up a hole, but by that offensive line, but then the linebackers came up and closed it for Colome.
Jordan Berg.
We haven't seen many 3rd and longs for Grant-Duel either. They've been, you said what, 8 first downs now, and maybe 1 3rd and long that they've needed to convert.
Berg split, as well as Magadans. Boy, look at the pump fake. Back to Berg, and just off the fingertips.
Boy, that was a nice job of staying with him by Ethan Bober. Berg ran a terrific route, and it was a very effective pump fake, but Ethan Bober stays with Berg. Look at this route. Bober doesn't bite and was there just close enough to be in coverage, but that ball still almost caught by Berg.
Dustin Johnson, 6 of 9 passing, 51 yards.
That brings up 4th and 6.
4th down here for Grant-Duel.
Trying to set up a screen. Nope. Still looking. And incomplete. Intended for Clint Holman. You got to give credit to Colome. They had everybody covered.
And a great job defensively of getting in and disrupting that. Very effective drive stoppage there by the folks from Colome. Here comes big number 73 from Colome. That's Damian Berg. He's the one who disrupted it at first, and then a big hit there towards the end. So Colome takes over on downs.
This will be the 3rd possession of the game for Colome. And under 10 minutes to go in the first half. Grant-Duel about 2-1 on the time of possession so far in the game. Josh Sherman will air it out. Caught to Ben Kartak. And a first down for the Cowboys.
Nice catch by Kartak. Nice adjustment on the ball. That's about as wide open as you're going to see the Colome Cowboys get with their offensive sets.
Great pass by Sherman. Sherman passed for over 1,000 yards on the season. So it's not like some of the teams we've seen where they're not used to passing the ball.
Their next pass will be their first. Yeah.
Quarterback keeper for Sherman.
Oh, what a stick.
8 yards for Josh Sherman.
That was a nice stick at the end of that.
Yeah, there's some sticking going on here, Mike.
This is fun to watch.
2nd and 2 for the Colome Cowboys. This will be their 13th offensive play. Grant-Duel has already run 23. Maybe the offense just trying to get into sync. The pitch to Derek Beck. Nice cutback to get the first down.
You know, that was an excellent job by Beck. I'm not so sure, though, that if he doesn't cut it outside, he's able to pick up even more. But the simple fact that he makes the cut rather than just running headlong into the pile. Nice lead blocks, and he does cut it inside. And Grant-Duel able to catch up with him.
Boy, both clubs have guys that can block. I mean, Cahoy for Colome. You know, they got Holman for Grant-Duel.
Yeah,
they may not get all the yardage, but at least they're getting out there springing a hole for one of their teammates.
Shotgun formation here.
Double reverse. This is Mitch Schwartz. first down.
Boy, he got hit hard at the end of that. A big collision over there. It was Johnson coming in with the tackle, but that was a well-executed double reverse. Take a look at it. The pitch. And a nice
delivered the
hit.
blow.
Wow. That's called finishing the run right there.
And for Schwartz, that would be his first carry. He's been on the recipient of a couple of passes, but his first carry of the day. Sherman down the middle of the field. Schwartz with the catch.
He'll get it down to the 11-yard line. A nice catch. He got hit hard once he made it. There to deliver the blow was Jordan Berg. But a big pass play for the Colome Cowboys.
Second catch of the game for Mitch Schwartz, and took a big hit on the side by Dustin Johnson.
It was Johnson. Berg got there a little bit late. Johnson delivered the hit. This is more what we kind of anticipated, Craig. I had a feeling that this score would be about 24-20 by now, but that's certainly not how this game has gone.
First and 10 from just outside of the 10. Derek Beck, and he is injured on the play.
I believe he injured his arm. We've got an official's timeout.
Couple of yards for Derek Beck. This would be huge for Colome.
Injury timeout.
Nice to see him get up right away.
Yeah, he's holding that left forearm.
He's going to have to come out of this play.
And again, the rule is anytime that you have a stoppage of play due to an injury, that player has to come out for at least one play. Checking into the lineup is Kartak. And going out there to play running back is Bryce Hoff, the sophomore.
61 yards rushing, 60 yards passing for Colome. Second and 9. Boy, big hole for Mitch Schwartz.
Kind of nice when you can move Schwartz back there to that I-back position with Beck on the sidelines. That was a good hard run. Now Colome can get a first down, but it would be just by keeping the nose of the football out of the end zone.
Schwartz, check that now. That's Rob Cahoy, and Cahoy on second effort will score. Seventh touchdown on the season for Rob Cahoy.
And a little sense of relief goes over the Colome crowd there. Boy, the way Grant-Duel took that opening drive, they looked like they were just going to own this football game.
Going for 2. The quarterback himself, that's Josh Sherman, and he gets in. It's good. The Cowboys take the lead.
And Craig, that has to really do an awful lot for your confidence here. Take a look, as on that other side, it was the extra effort getting into the end zone, but it has to really give your team confidence that you're able to come up with that drive and finish off that drive with Beck out. They eat up 329 on 8 plays, 74-yard drive, and they cap it off with not only the touchdown but the extra point as well.
Well, statistically, a lot of the stats are even. Both clubs with 8 first downs. Total yards, 132 for Colome, 125 Grant-Duel.
don't forget, you can log on sdpb.org. Keep up on live time stats and discuss the games as well. Some very interesting discussions on yesterday's game at sdpb.org.
Jordan Berg and Clint Holman back deep. This will be taken by Jordan Berg. Breaks one. Up to the 45.
Number 22.
In nine-man football, you'll see that an awful lot where they don't necessarily try to boot the ball a long way downfield. You'd rather have it more of a controlled type of kick down the middle, but also in nine-man football, if you've got a good return man, you've got a chance to go on every kickoff.
Dustin Johnson, the quarterback for Grant-Duel. Looking for Magadance. In and out of his arms.
Magadance started running before he brought it in. He saw the defender coming up. It happens to a lot of receivers. And it was right there on the money, but he just started running upfield before pulling it all the way into his body.
Josh Sherman there, number 42. He was in coverage. Isaac Larson, Andrew Magadance, Josh Syme all out, as well as Berg. The pitch to Clint Holman, and no gain on the play as the Cowboys.
Much more effective, Craig, of getting to the outside. Just what we talked about in that first quarter. Not allowing Grant-Duel to beat him to the corner.
Rob Cahoy with a big hit.
And see, there's bodies waiting for him rather than trying to pursue him, which was what was happening in that first quarter.
3rd and long again for Grant-Duel. Inside, nice catch, Magadance. Great catch. And he gets 20 yards after the catch.
Very nice job by that young man. He dropped the pass just a couple of plays ago. Nice job of redemption as he makes a heck of a catch.
How about that slant?
And again, Johnson with no pressure on him whatsoever. And you've got 5 bodies in the neighborhood of Magadance.
4th catch, 50 yards for Magadance in receiving. And Grant-Duel gets the first down. Basic quarterback keeper, and Rob Cahoy, the middle linebacker, right there for the stop.
That didn't get very far. Good job of filling the hole by Cahoy.
Not much misdirection there.
No, no, there was none. But again, with Johnson's abilities, you know, it's real important that they wrapped him up, which they did there, because, I mean, he's shifty enough, he can pop out of that and be gone.
Berg and Holman surrounding Johnson, the quarterback. Just the short drop. Back to Magadance again. And it's going to be shy of the first down.
And Sherman, I believe it was Sherman in on that play. Nope, it was Bober. Ethan Bober was actually trying to strip that ball away.
Check that. It is a first down.
Take a look at the end of this play. Again, no pressure. But here comes Bober, and Bober is actually ripping at the football there with his right hand, trying to get that out of the hands of Magadance, but Magadance with an excellent catch and run after the catch.
1st and 10 for Grant-Duel, the 23 of Colome. This is Clint Holman, and Holman is stuck. Josh Sherman, linebacker Rob Cahoy. That's a great linebacking core.
It really is. And the funny thing is, though, Holman gets up as if nothing happened. I mean, he just completely shrugs that off. Those are some good football players hammering on each other out there. Can we get an angle? Oh, did they have numbers on it? Is
Yes,
that
they
what
did.
it was?
Yes.
Okay. That's a novel idea.
2nd and 8. Down the middle of the field alone. Touchdown. Jordan Berg. That was down and in. Little pattern there by Jordan Berg.
It is nothing fancy. He outruns the coverage and is open on the slant pattern into the end zone. And the throw from Johnson right on the money.
Go for 2. Wants to pass. Now will run it. And will he get in? No. Doesn't get in.
There is a flag down, however.
And it's going to go against Colome.
Face mask. So Grant-Duel will get another chance here.
Half the distance to the goal.
Face mask, defense. Face mask, defense.
There you saw it. Yep. Right there at the end. So Grant-Duel with another opportunity for this 2-point conversion. A look at a good crowd on hand for a 9B game here at the DakotaDome.
Under center this time is Johnson. The give to Berg, and Berg will go in for the 2-point conversion. Wildcats 14, Cowboys 8 on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
There you see the scoring drive. 3 minutes, 7 plays, 56 yards, and an outstanding pass from Johnson to Berg. So Grant-Duel able to answer the touchdown that Colome had on their last possession. Final 3:26 of this half. Let's see what Colome can do.
Grant-Duel up to 181 total yards here in this first half. Colome is at 132. Little pooch taken up by one of the up-backs.
I think it's Bober. Nope, 38. Mitch Schwartz. Oh, no, it was Bober. Yep.
Number 40, Mr. Vober.
That's over on that far side, and my 49-year-old eyes aren't getting any better.
Both clubs with 2 timeouts here yet in the first half.
Yeah, we had a phantom timeout there back in the first quarter. Someone took it, but
somebody got a free timeout.
Someone got a free one.
Josh Sherman, the quarterback.
Great field position to start the drive.
Looking down the middle of the field, and Schwartz, the intended receiver, Jordan Berg, I think, knocked it out.
I think you're right. Berg had great coverage on him. They were trying to go with the exact same pattern that Johnson had hit Berg on for Grant-Duel. But Berg with excellent coverage, and I think you're right, Craig. He got just a little bit of a hand on it, and it falls incomplete.
For Mr. Sherman on the day, he's 4 of 7 passing, 60 yards.
Going out of the shotgun here.
Sherman will keep it. Maybe a gain of 3. You think about it, Mike. Over the years, 9-man teams that were even in the shotgun, it didn't happen, 10, 15, 20 years ago.
And yet the funny thing is, it happened 50 years ago, back when they used to play 6-man here in the state of South Dakota. Everybody went out of the shotgun offense. And Jerry Miller, as a matter of fact, the coach from Montrose, talks about that in the 100 Years, 100 Yards documentary that South Dakota Public Broadcasting did.
3rd and 6 for the Colome Cowboys. The pitch to Beck, and Beck can't get around the corner.
Nice to see Beck back in the ball game, however, after he had gone out with the injured arm. But a great job of getting to the outside by Grant-Duel, including Quint Holman, the sophomore. The read.
Boy,
Magadance was right there.
He's having a whale of a game.
He is.
Both sides of the ball.
And now it's 4th down.
And Grant-Duel. I think there's some confusion here. I think they need an extra body.
And a timeout going to be called by Colome. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Second timeout.
They had a player rushing off of the field.
More football tonight here on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. It's the 9A championship. Scotland will try to defend their title as they take on Northwestern.
And Northwestern, another one of those teams, very similar to Grant-Duel. They don't necessarily make it to the Dome on a regular basis, but year in and year out, just a terrific program that piles up 7 or 8 wins a year and gets into the playoffs just about every year. So Northwestern and Scotland coming up tonight. Steve Toom and myself will have the coverage on that one.
Well, Northwestern, I thought maybe would have championships to fight for this week and next week. Northwestern normally very strong in volleyball, but Warner took out Northwestern, and Warner goes to the state volleyball title, which the tournament, which we'll have on South Dakota Public Broadcasting next week.
That, of course, comes up 3:30 Central, 2:30 Mountain next week from the Sioux Falls Arena. All 3 classes.
The way it
Public
should
TV.
be.
That's right.
All together. Here's Rob Cahoy back to punt. It is a fake. Right side,
baby!
Oh, baby! Bye-bye! Oh, my! Every coach in South Dakota is writing that play on a napkin right now. Oh, man! Hut 1 to hut 2, and off to the races is Derek Berg.
Look at that. Grant-Duel was prepared for the fake. And when the player came around, Beck fakes going through his legs, but he holds on to it, and then it's just Beck in the open field. What a play. And by the way, we're right next to the Colome coaches. They're over here in the booth next to us. They were going crazier than we were.
It is tied. 2-point conversion for the lead, and Sherman gets in.
Man, oh man. We might have to see that again, Craig. We might have to see that again. The guys in the truck have been doing such a terrific job for us with replays and etc. I mean, this is one that's going to be replayed for a long time. Nope, I'm going to keep it myself. Beck was the up back, and a great job by the camera folks there of actually getting him with the ball. And
Because
then
remember,
it's just a race.
This was going to be a punt, and the punter was back.
Yeah,
and it was snapped to Beck, who was the up back. Fake going between the legs. While in the first game we saw a fake extra point, and the placeholder threw it behind his head.
Yep.
And then that person threw the ball for a score.
1:42 off the clock, so Colome scores, Grant-Duel responds with a score of their own, and Colome comes back with a score. I think both teams are actually going to be a little sorry to see halftime come, because I get the feeling that they're both starting to get into their rhythm here.
Back deep for Grant-Duel is Bergen Holman. This is one of the up men.
52.
That is Ethan Robish. Brings it up to the 45, and Grant-Duel with 1:40 to go in the half.
And that's the only bad thing about kicking off in that style is, you know, when you go with the little short ones.
Grant-Duel, second timeout.
Grant-Duel calling a timeout here. So we've got timeout on the field. But the thing is, you end up with now Grant-Duel with the ball at their own 45-yard line. That's great field position to start a drive with just 1:40 left. So the Wildcats will be down to 1 timeout, I believe.
Maybe calling a couple of plays, maybe going the no huddle after this. Who knows? We've seen everything.
And that's the thing, too, that you have to keep in mind for 9-man. It's not like you can be on the sidelines discussing with your offense, especially in 9B, discussing with your offense what they're going to do on the next possession. Your offense is out there playing defense. These kids, every one of these kids, are going both ways. So consequently, it's not like during that kick, plus they're on the kick team, it's not like they could take the quarterback and the running back and say, okay, here's what we want to do. So that's what Troy Gower is doing with this timeout.
And he's taking as much time as he can.
I tell you what, with that play by Beck, with that, with the flip play by the kicker that we saw in one of the earlier games this week. Last year, Boise State and Oklahoma played one of the most amazing football games college football has ever seen, and I think everybody has at least 1 or 2 of the plays from that game now in their offense.
Dustin Johnson overthrew his intended receiver, Andrew Magadans.
Good coverage that time by Josh Sherman. Magadans has been getting open on a regular basis, but Sherman had him that time.
Total yards, both clubs, Mike. Colome 185, Grant-Duel 181.
And that's why we've got a 2-point ball game. Boy, that opening drive by Grant-Duel, though, that was a thing of beauty, but Colome has responded.
2nd and 10. As Johnson just throws it away.
Good decision by Johnson. Threw it where nobody could get it. He was well outside of the tackle box. So
Magadans was down the center of the field, but he was fully covered.
For folks who don't watch a lot of football, once you get outside of where your linemen end, in other words, you've got about 10 yards there width, 10 or 12 yards. Once you get out of that, then you can go ahead and throw it downfield without being charged with intentional grounding.
3rd and 10. Nice pump fake. Going deep for Berg and just too far. And you know what? This has helped Colome, Mike.
This is helping
because Grant-Duel was not able to take a lot of time off the clock. 7 seconds, in fact.
You're absolutely right, Craig. Now Colome is going to end up getting the ball back if Grant-Duel doesn't punt it away, and you have to punt it away here, because otherwise, if you don't make it, you're giving Colome the ball on your own 45-yard line. So they will go with the punt. Bober and Beck are back deep.
Dustin Johnson does the punting as well. Off towards the sideline. And 40-yard line is where Colome will take over.
Beck sure doesn't avoid contact, does he?
No, he doesn't. He's always in the middle of something.
And a nice job by Grant-Duel, too, of piling up. This has been a fun first half, specifically this second quarter. Both teams, you just get a feel that they're much more comfortable now out on the field, and both of them are doing the things that we expected to see them do.
Cowboys have 1 timeout.
And in good field position here.
Sherman is 4 of 7, 60 yards passing. But he'll keep it himself. Gets a couple of yards. And a timeout taken by Kevin Gracer and the Colome Cowboys.
And by the way, I don't think that we can necessarily
Colome, 3rd and final timeout.
Trust the board. They haven't taken that last timeout away from the Wildcats. So, but that is the final timeout for Colome. Don't forget, no cover, no minimum. returns tomorrow night to South Dakota Public Broadcasting. That was a great series in the 70s and 80s here on Public Broadcasting. You can find out more about it at sdpb.org. But Brule comes up Saturday night.
Oh, I thought it was Brule High School there.
Nope. They're from that part of the world, but it's Brule, and what an incredible band they are. And that's on no cover, no minimum. You can find out the complete schedule for all of the programming at sdpb.org. Also, I have been remiss in mentioning this. You can also go online at sdpb.org and you can order copies of these football games. You can buy them down in the lobby here if you're at the Dome. You can get them on DVD. But if you're not here, you can call that number or go online. 1-800-456-0766.
I think every coach wrote that number down so they can get the Colome fake punt for the touchdown. It is 2nd down and 6. The Johnson pitch will go to Derek Beck. Derek Beck will go out of bounds to stop the clock.
And that time, I wasn't sure Beck was going to get out of bounds. His natural reaction is to not go out of bounds. He wants to turn that back in and maybe run through the defender. In that case, he gets knocked out of bounds. It wasn't necessarily his decision.
But it was a good idea.
It was. It worked out very well for Colome. Get the first down and stop the clock.
First and 10 for the Colome Cowboys. Sherman back to pass. Deflected by Magadance. But Mike, we also have a flag.
And that's going to be a hold on Colome, I believe, judging from where that flag was tossed.
If you're Grant-Duel, well, they're talking to...
Yeah, Sherman is in on that discussion. I'm not sure why.
Disregard flag. Pass did not cross line of scrimmage.
All right, pass did not go past the line of scrimmage,
right.
So... Because otherwise it was going to be pass interference, I assume.
It must have been, yep. So now they have to reset the ball back at the actual line of scrimmage.
That was deflected by Magadance.
Great job by Magadance. He came in, they were trying to set up the screen over on that right side, and Magadance was putting on pressure, recognized it, got those big long arms up in the air. Magadance 6'2" and 195, and was able to tip it away.
This time Josh Sherman in the gun. Short drop. Now in trouble. And it's caught by Beck. Oh! And out of bounds, and a big hit away from the ball.
Mitch Schwartz with one of the better blocks you're going to see all weekend. We've seen about 4 or 5 comeback blocks, and Mitch Schwartz just delivered one as well.
Well, they got a big ooh from the crowd.
Got a big ooh from me.
Got out of bounds to stop the clock with 41 seconds to go in the half.
Boy, these are just two good football teams. I mean, there's just no question about it. This is like a heavyweight fight.
Sherman will throw. Plenty of time, now in trouble. You got to give credit to the Grant-Duel defense, because Sherman waited and waited and waited and just didn't have anywhere to go.
Nobody was open downfield. Johnson and Berg were the defensive backs on that. They had their men covered up, and then Sherman tried to step up in the pocket, and that's when the defense was there. And now the clock is rolling with 23 seconds left.
And it's 4th down.
Yep. And going with 3 wideouts.
Johnson in trouble already. Caught by Beck. Last play of the half, but a flag has come out.
We're going to have a block in the back, Craig.
If it's a defensive foul, Colome would get another shot, but with 0.2 of a second. It is against Colome.
Yep. Grant-Duel, I'm sure, is going to decline this.
Because then it would be their ball. Or actually, no, it'd be for.
Block in the back, offense.
Yeah, they got to take it
back.
Yeah,
that's right. They did pick up the first down. I forgot.
Down.
Yep.
Well, Colome's going to get one play if they hurry up to the line. No, they won't have time. That'll be it. That'll be it. That's the end of the first half. Because the clock starts after the penalty. Once the chains are set. And Mike, that was a whale of a first half.
That was. Grant-Duel came out with that opening drive and ate up 71 yards on as pretty of a drive as you're going to see. Dustin Johnson was engineering that. But Colome got into their rhythm in that second period. You got a feeling that both teams just felt a lot more comfortable in that second period. And they were able to respond. And Wildcats and the Cowboys going back and forth here at halftime. And
yeah, you're going to see once we give you some stats later during the half, you're going to see a lot of stats about the same from both sides. Tom Neiman is with Kevin Gracer.
All right, first of all, the wonderfully executed fake punt. Who gets credit for that? Did you guys dream that up or what?
Well, we've done that last year and it's worked, so we said, what the heck? We needed maybe something to spark us a little bit, and you know, it worked, so we're happy.
Defensively, it's hard to get Johnson. I mean, he's good no matter what you do to him, but can you get a little more pressure on him or not?
Yeah, we're going to have to try something. You know, here we are again. Same kind of offense we faced last year. You know, we got to find a way to stop it. So he's good. He's good. He's running, throwing, whatever. So hopefully we can find a way.
All right, keep hitting. Good first half. Thanks, Kevin Gracer. And Colome up by 2 here at halftime. It is 16-14. The Cowboys leading Grant-Duel in the 9B championship game, and we'll be back to Vermillion on South Dakota Public Broadcasting right after this.
The 2007 South Dakota High School Football State Championships are brought to you in part by your membership in the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting, by Dakota Bank, and by Mid-Continent Communications.
Welcome back to the Dome in Vermillion. We're at halftime. The 9B championship game. Colome on a fabulous fake punt. They lead Grant-Duel here at halftime 16-14. And we are joined by a member of Farmers Union Insurance, one of the community partners, the corporate partners with the South Dakota High School Activities Association. Blaine Anderson is a Howard, South Dakota native and works out of the Huron, South Dakota office. And welcome. Great to have you here.
Thank you very much. It's great to be part of the South Dakota High School Activities Association. Very proud to be here and be part of all this.
We talked a little earlier today. It's a great partnership, really the true meaning of a partnership. It's good for you guys, good for them.
Very much so. You know, it's good to be part of the youth and the development of all that and be supportive of the communities in that way. And I don't know, it's just, we've been with them for 5 years and hope to be around a long time, and it's just great to be part of it.
The Huron office with Leroy Pearson, Troy Pearson, those guys up there. But I don't know how many offices are there across South Dakota with Farmers Union?
Over through the state, we're probably about a little over 30 agents around the state, scattered basically all throughout the state. So anywhere you want to go, you can find one of us, and we've got great products to support everyone's needs, as well as needs for the youth as well. So very, very knowledgeable agents, and we can help you with anything you want on any insurance or financial products that we offer. So
part of the great fit is these are the people you're dealing with, right? The high school kids with kids in high school and those kind of people, right?
Yeah, especially in the smaller communities like the 9A football, the 9B football. We got a lot of small communities that it's great to support all those people because you know everybody in those towns and all the kids and know them as well as personally as well as that way. So it's great to support all that and be part of it.
All right, Blaine Anderson, Farmers Union Insurance in here, and we got to get the Tigers football program back on track. One of these,
but hopefully we played a little bit better this year, and hopefully we'll get better and win some games. So.
All right, appreciate it, Blaine. Thank you very much. All right, guys, back to you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom Neiman. Let's look at the stats from the first half. And when you look at it, some similarities between these stats.
Remarkably similar, as a matter of fact.
Not
total
only
yards.
just the score.
Yeah. Time of possession very similar, and look at the turnovers. Neither team has committed a turnover. Both teams have taken care of the ball. You have had a couple of times where the ball was turned over on downs, but no turnovers, interceptions, fumbles, that sort of thing. So it has been a rather cleanly played game, minimal amount of penalties as well in that first half.
Individually rushing wise, Grant-Duel, Dustin Johnson, 10 carries, 59 yards. Clint Holman, 5 for 13. Then for Colome, Derek Beck, 7 carries for 78 yards, including 1 for 55, which was the fake punt. Josh Sherman, 7 carries for 31. Mitch Schwartz, 2 carries for 20.
Very interesting first half. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. There's Johnson with a nice job at tucking it, coming around, picking up big yardage. He was so versatile in that first half. And there's the pass. Nice catch by Magadans. Wildcat fans obviously enjoying it. Cowboy fans getting into it much more in that second period. Sherman drops back, the throw over the middle. Got his man. And that got him down at the 10-yard line. Sort of indicative, though, of both teams, too, hitting. They were popping each other really well. The handoff goes on the left side to Cahoy, and he battles through with second effort, and then the fake punch that will be shown for ages as Beck holds on to it. And again, great job by the camera person of staying with the football. It would have been easy for that to just to assume that the ball was going back to the punter. That was not the case, and Beck able to hold on, and then a heck of a run.
You're watching the 9B Championship on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
The 2007 South Dakota High School State Football Championships are brought to you in part by your membership in the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting, by Sanford Health, and by Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Dakota.
Midway through the 9B State Football Championship, we are at halftime, and it is a 16-14 lead for the Colome Cowboys. Colome back in this year after coming up short last year, but they've got the lead here at halftime on Grant-Duel. Grant-Duel was rated #1 all season in the KSFY KWSN radio poll with Craig Maddock and the boys and Eric Thorstensen at KSFY Television. And here is more from Thor on the Grant-Duel Wildcats.
Where are you going to be tonight?
Grant-Duel High School has been one of the top programs in 9-man football. They'll be making their 3rd trip to the DakotaDome since 1995.
Friday at 2:30 next week here. Anybody can come to Ravillo and rob the place blind, because I don't think there'll be a person in town. You know, it's just great for the community, it's great for the school, and it's great for these kids.
The Wildcats have 8 seniors, many of those suited up in the 2002 state title game as 8th graders. They've grown up wanting to be a part of this tradition.
This is the dream. Since I was ever in kindergarten, this is what I wanted to do. This is what I love. It feels great. I mean, when we were 8th graders, I wanted to play, but we were 8th graders, so we couldn't. So it feels great to be back there.
Grant-Duel has had some heartache as well. They lost in the semifinals last year. They've had some good seasons, end early.
Some of the kids here, their brothers played, you know, and got close, got to this spot in the playoffs and couldn't finish, couldn't get through to the next level. So these guys have had a lot of motivating factors.
Last year, we made it this far. We didn't get it, but we looked up to them guys, and we wanted to bring it back to them this year.
And they are hanging right in there. Down, each team scored twice here this afternoon, but Colome with the 2-point conversion, and the Cowboys lead Grant-Duel 16-14. We'll be back to kick off the 3rd quarter in the 9B championship game right after this on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
The 2007 South Dakota High School Football State Championships are brought to you in part by your membership in the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting, by Dakota Bank, and by Mid-Continent Communications.
Welcome back to the DakotaDome in Vermillion, the site of the South Dakota High School Football Championships. From Sioux Falls Sports Radio, KWSN, I'm Craig Maddock, along with Mike Henriksen from the SportsMax Radio.
Good to be along. Our thanks to South Dakota Public Broadcasting for including us again this year. Thanks to Julie Anderson and to Bob Bussey and the entire crew. We certainly appreciate it. So it's always fun. We always look forward to getting down to the Dome, and we always see a bunch of folks that we don't get a chance to see during the rest of the year. So it's always a very good time.
What do you think matchups? What are these teams going to do to change to get ready for the second half? I don't think there's going to be a lot of change.
I don't think there's going to be hardly any change at all. So far, you know, Colome made some adjustments. You heard Kevin Gracer talking about it, that they're in need of again trying to stop this offense. They've done a much better job of it this year than they did a year ago against Iroquois, obviously. But Grant-Duel's able to eat up some yardage and some time. I think both teams were really getting into more of a rhythm there as we got into the middle of the second period, and I think you're going to see more of the same. This has been a much more physical game than what I thought it might be. Quite honestly, I wasn't sure that it was going to be this physical, but both teams are really bringing it, and the speed factor has been pretty well balanced out. These are just two very evenly matched teams.
You and I see a lot of Class 11 AA games. We get out and see some 11A and 11B games once in a while, but just the atmosphere, whether it's 9-man or 11-man.
Second half has chosen to receive.
Colome will receive. As you hear our referee there. I'm sorry, I'll get to my point here in a moment, because Tom has the head coach of Grant-Duel on the field, Troy Gower.
All right, Troy, first of all, there is some heavy hitting going on. Johnson's limping a little bit. Is everybody good to go for second half?
Oh, it's a state championship game, and we got two physical football teams. You know, Big Holman 44's got a little ding knee. Johnson's a little banged up. Jordan Berg's a little banged up. So you got two physical football teams coming at each other, which we knew was going to happen at the beginning.
What do you need to change? Anything?
We just need to stay with our blocks a little bit better. We need to get our running game going a little bit more. We'd like to get Johnson loose a little bit more on the outside. They've done a good job containing him. Our offensive line's done a great job pass blocking. I'd like to see him pull it down and run it a little bit more if he doesn't have anybody open. But, you know, whatever he decides is fine with me, I guess.
Have a good second half. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom.
That's a coach with confidence in his players, isn't it? I mean, that's but again, you put in this offense this year because you know you've got that guy to run it, and Johnson has done a terrific job all season long.
Back to my point before we got to the coach. How great is that atmosphere on a Friday night? You go to the football field. It's probably maybe next to a cornfield. You got all the cars parked along the sidelines. Doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, in Del Rapids, Del St. Mary's plays at Rickman Field. You've got the Big Sioux River running alongside it. The Dells of the Sioux actually breaks off there. There are so many great facilities, and you just can't beat a fall Friday night at a small town with a good football team. It just is Americana through and through.
Again, statistically, both clubs fairly even when it comes to stats. Total yards for Colome, 206. Total for Grant-Duel, 181. Individually, the leaders of both clubs rushing-wise, as we pull up the stats here. First of all, for Colome, it is Derek Beck leading Colome, 78 yards on 7 carries. Meanwhile, for Grant-Duel, Dustin Johnson, 10 carries and 59 yards. You can watch the stats as we are here in the booth by logging on to sdpb.org.
And we heard Coach Gower talk about that. Colome actually did a much better job of containing in that second period, of getting to the outside and forcing Grant-Duel to go back towards the field rather than turn that corner. Both teams are making adjustments, and both teams delivering punches and taking punches.
Kicking off is Jamie Brandt. Remember, he's wearing number 90. After getting blood on his original number 64, so he'll kick off for Grant-Duel. And this is up the middle. That is Schwartz. Wow, what a great start for Colome.
Big time field position to start.
And Schwartz gets up a little slow. Doesn't take much, Mike, with 9-man football on a 100-yard field. That the chances of breaking something for a big gain much better.
Once you get past that initial contain, then there's a real nice job actually done by Branch. He was the last chance, and he makes the play.
The Colome Cowboys with a 2-point lead as we start the third quarter. Derek Beck gets slammed to the ground after a gain of 4.
I think you're going to see more of that in the second half too, Craig. I think they are going to try to go with more of the power game.
Quint Holman, the middle linebacker for Grant-Duel, in on the stop.
Of course, Beck was out for a while in that first half, appeared to injure his right arm, and so he missed out on a couple of carries, but I think they'd really like to get him pounding on that defensive line of Grant-Duel. That could really take its toll.
Cahoy and Beck are the backs right behind Josh Sherman. Sherman will keep it and be just shy of a first down, maybe close enough to get it.
Boy, he fell forward. A nice effort there. He's going to be very close. But again, a good decision and good patience by Sherman. He does come up just short. But again, Sherman sees where the defenders are, decides not to pitch, just takes the yardage that he can get, and it brings up third and very short.
We'll go to the double. Well, it looks like a little bit of the double wing offense here.
Why did the clock stop there?
Still stopped. Now it's running up the middle. Mr. Beck breaks a tackle inside the 15. Boy, Derek Beck just bouncing off of Wildcats from Grant-Duel.
That's the Derek Beck that the Colome Cowboy fans are used to seeing. He'll get bottled up every now and then, but look at that hit that he delivers and then runs through the tackle. And that's what can happen with a big, strong running back like Beck. He's going to get stronger as the game goes on, and the more times you give him the ball, the better chance of him popping off a big one like that.
11th first down of the game for Colome. Give it back to Beck. Oh, that time.
Oh, nice job.
That is Mr. Jamie Brandt.
Yep, Jamie Brandt with a really nice job of pursuing down that line of scrimmage and making the tackle.
Trying to run between the tackles. Second down and 9 from the 14. Opening drive of the third quarter.
Very tight formation now, going with that double wing.
Back to pass. Sherman will get it. Touchdown, Ethan Volber. His 11th touchdown catch of the season.
And take a look at this pass. It is right on the money. They leave a couple of guys in to pass protect, and that ball, despite double coverage, Volber had gotten himself open, and Sherman put it right in his arms.
Goal for 2. The pitch to Beck, and Beck will race into the end zone.
And that's big, Craig, because that makes it a 2-score game. A touchdown, if they didn't get that, would have tied it with the 2-point conversion. But this now makes it 2 scores.
Nice shot there of Derek Beck, the 5'11", 185-pound senior.
And he just used the foot race.
Mike, it was a very short drive, but they under 2 minutes for that drive.
They got excellent field position to start on the return by Schwartz. And they took advantage of that field position and punch it in a minute 50. 5 plays, 46 yards. So a great way to start the second half for the Colome Cowboys. But so far, we've seen each team respond to the other. Now let's see what the Wildcats can do from Grant-Duel.
Derek Beck now 10 carries, 105 yards, plus 1 catch for 9 yards.
And of course scored his other touchdown on the fake punch. And we were told by the coaching staff for Colome that they actually used that a year ago to defeat Avon in the playoffs. Hadn't used it all year this year, however, that fake punt. Saving it for a special moment. I'd say they picked the right one, huh?
Been in the back pocket that long. Up the middle, Clint Holman. And that ball is loose and picked up by Colome. Boy, that thing just popped out. Picking up the fumble, Mike, was Derek Beck.
He's been everywhere. Take a look at Holman. He just gets the ball stripped.
Josh Sherman stripped it.
Yep, Josh Sherman pulled it out, and I thought that was maybe going to get out of bounds.
Timeout, Grant-Duel.
But Grant-Duel is going to call a timeout. Troy Gower wants his troops to regroup a bit here.
Yeah, not very often in the last couple of years, Grant-Duel has found themselves in this type of situation.
Yeah, not at all. They have been in control of an awful lot of their football games, with the exception last year of the whooping that they got by Iroquois, but which Troy Gower, that's his words. He knew that they got beat pretty good in that one, but he just wants to remind his team there's plenty of time. 9:54 to play in the third period. Grant-Duel is a team that can put up points in a hurry, and so they don't need to panic here.
This timeout gives Grant-Duel a little bit of a respite here, because remember, a lot of these kids are going both ways.
Oh yeah, just about every one of them, and playing special teams.
Well, the Grant-Duel defense didn't get too tired because it was only a 2-minute drive last time by Colome. First turnover of the game. Straight up the middle.
Is that Cahoy?
Rob Cahoy. Cahoy with his fourth carry of the game.
Craig, in the semifinal game against Del Rapids St. Mary's, the folks from Colome had a lead at halftime, but they had fumbled the ball a couple of times inside the 10-yard line. I mean, they had the chance to really score more. But as that game went along into that second period, they just wore down Del Rapids St. Mary's and got a couple of turnovers and capitalized on them and really took over that game.
Sherman to throw. Touchdown!
What a catch by Vober. Are you kidding me?
Ethan Vober. Second touchdown catch of the game.
Take a look at this catch. He's fallen down, had contact with Berg, the defensive back, and makes it, falling on his backside into the end zone.
That was a short drive.
That was a short drive. 2 plays.
Now for 2. Derek Beck. He will not get in.
Good job by the defensive line and the linebackers coming up and stuffing Derek Beck. But a big turn of events here to start this second half for the Colome Cowboys.
45-second play or drive.
36 yards was all they needed. And Colome with 2 quick touchdowns here. They led it 16-14 at halftime.
Well, Josh Sherman, he has passed to 5 different receivers this afternoon.
Really?
Yeah. 5 different receivers. And of course, just getting the updates here on.
And does Vober have 2 touchdown catches?
Yes, he does.
Yep.
We'll get you those stats when they become available.
Again, you can log on to sdpb.org.
Bryce Houff will kick it away for the Colome Cowboys.
Very important for Grant-Duel to respond here. Get a nice return, get yourself set up.
Jordan Berg.
There you go. That's what you needed.
Up to the 40.
Yep. Good field position to start. Now you get that offense back out there and get them in sync.
For Ethan Volber for Colome, 2 catches, 44 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Not bad.
And passing wise for Mr. Sherman, 7 of 11, 113 yards.
Good look at Troy Gower there on the sideline. There's Kevin Gracer.
For Clint Johnson, or I'm sorry, Dustin Johnson, the quarterback for Grant-Duel, 9 of 17 and 104 yards.
There's a nice run up the middle.
Right up the middle. That is Brandon Rufer. Rufer, his second carry of the game. Haven't seen Rufer in the backfield very often.
And Troy Gower said at halftime when he talked with Tom Neiman that they wanted to establish their running game in the second half. Even though he's down 30-14, there's no point to being in any rush here. You can still establish that running game, and a nice run there on the right side by Rufer.
1st and 10, Grant-Duel. One of the few times Johnson is under center. At that time, Clint Holman nowhere to go. Look at the penetration by the Colome Cowboys. Josh Sherman, Rob Cahoy. You know, those 2 linebackers, we've mentioned their names so much today.
Yes, we have. And you know, in that first half, Craig, it was Grant-Duel that was winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. But that has really changed from about the middle of the second period on.
2nd and 12. Again, Brandon Rufer, but Rufer will still make 4 yards, but it's going to be 3rd and 9.
Now Rufer will check out of the ball game. Very, very important for Grant-Duel to pick up this first down.
This is the 3rd championship game in a row. As the handoff to Rufer, just straight up the middle, but 3rd championship game in a row, Mike, where we've seen one team go out early in the first quarter, and the other team explodes after that. Third and 9. A little bit too far for Isaac Larson. He had him on line, but just a little bit too far.
He did. The 6'1" senior was open down the middle against his own defense, but Johnson hasn't done many things wrong this afternoon. That one he just got too much on. The thing to remember, though, Craig, again, 7:10 left to play in the 3rd period. It's still only a 2-score game.
That's
that last touchdown didn't change anything as far as the number of scores that you need.
And Dustin Johnson back to punt. Going towards the corner. This is a good punt. Oh, right at the 20 and out of bounds.
Nice job at taking that to the sideline.
Officially be a 29-yard punt.
And good decision there as Grant-Duel gives up the football. Go ahead and play some field position here. Again, just a 2-score game with plenty of time left in the football game.
Mike, you and Steve Toom and Tom Neiman will have the 9A championship coming up tonight on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
That should be an awful lot of fun. Scotland and Northwestern. Scotland looking for the repeat.
7 o'clock. The pregame, 6 Mountain on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Mr. Beck trying to get to the outside, but big bear hug right at the line of scrimmage.
And that's a very nice tackle out there.
Ethan Robish.
Robish, the 6-foot senior, really wrapped up on Beck. And that is not easy to do. Take a look at Robish here, number 52. Plays the blocker, comes off the blocker, and makes the tackle. You can't do it much better than that.
That's pretty good technique.
That was great.
2nd and 8. On the option. And a couple of yards to the 25, maybe 4 yards.
And again, Sherman is going to be very careful with that football. What Colome would love to do is go on about a 10 or 12 play drive and eat up the rest of this quarter. Do anything they can to shorten up this game.
Josh Sherman now 9 carries, 41 yards. 175 yards on the ground for the Colome Cowboys.
Man-to-man on the wideout on the far side.
Quarterback option. The pitch to Beck. Gets the first down. And a couple of yards more. Quint Holman is there.
And the block that sprung that was Ben Kartak, the 5'9" junior out on that far side. He was the wideout. And once they pitch it to Beck, Kartak was able to get enough of his man.
He didn't want to go out of bounds.
Nope. He wanted to keep that clock rolling. But a nice block by Kartak. Enough for the first down.
First and 10 from their own 32. And that Rob Cahoy
stuck pretty well there. Grant-Duel. Butch Tall coming up with it. That's a freshman who's in the lineup. Number 84.
And Cahoy needs to fix the shoe. So
Butch
they'll stop the clock.
Butch 6'1" and 190 and a freshman. I coached kids in baseball this summer. I think my big man was about 5'4" that was that age. So
you know, one thing we have not seen here in the championships in any of the games is any cramping. Typically,
no,
we will see kids come up with cramps, and you know what? I think it's the conditioning, and these teams have been here before.
That's a huge part of it, Craig.
They know that hydration is so important when you play a game in the dome.
I believe, is Groton the only team that is here for the first time?
Yep.
And yeah, that's a great point. These teams do know about their preparation. Some of them have even changed their preparation through the years as far as what their travel schedule and those types of things. But you're right, that does play into it.
2nd and 7 for the Cowboys. Bouncing out, that's first rush of the day. Nathan Audis,
the sophomore, getting the carry. And a nice job by Nathan. And it brings up a 3rd down now and keeps that clock rolling.
Audis, 5'7", 150. Took a pretty good hit there.
He did, but
ouch, welcome to the championship game.
But he wasn't avoiding it either. It's a nice run by the sophomore. And now Audis is back on the sideline next to his coach, lobbying to go back in.
Grant-Duel trying for a stop here on 3rd down. And 2nd effort, 3rd effort.
Oh, man. I think it was Beck that made that play. Beck or maybe Sherman.
Cahoy had the ball, but he had a little help getting the first down.
Watch this. He has stood up. That's a great defensive play. And then coming in and moving that pile was Sherman. He did a little Reggie Bush to Matt Leinart in the USC game a couple years ago, where Leinart was trying to go in for the touchdown against Notre Dame, and Reggie Bush comes flying into the picture and pushes Leinart in. That was a big first down conversion for Colome. Whoa!
Well, if you're going to be off, you might as well be off.
That's right.
You know what? That is the 5th penalty for Colome. I thought they had a few less than that.
Offense, false start.
Yeah, being the good Lutheran that I am, you know, one of Martin Luther's tenets was that if you're going to sin, sin boldly. At least I think that's how it went. Oh, I can't quote you chapter and verse on it.
We're going to get emails on that now.
Yeah, I can't tell you where that is in the pieces that he hammered up on the cathedral, but I'm pretty sure it's
all
in there.
All your emails to sportsmaxradio.com. Here's Sherman with the pitch to Beck. And Beck gets up to midfield, stays in bounds, gain of 6.
Craig, this game is as physical of a 9B game as we have seen in quite some time.
Yeah, there's some licks going on virtually every play.
And last year, Colome was a hard-hitting team, but they couldn't catch Iroquois to hit them. I mean, this is 2 physical teams. There's years where we see one fast team and one physical team. These are 2 very physical teams that are really doing a nice job.
2nd down and 4 for Colome. They're just eating up clock. Nice fortuitous bounce right to Derek Beck. I don't think coaches will be writing that play down on a napkin.
I don't believe so. But it worked out well and brings up 3rd and short.
You know things are going well for Colome when that just squirts right out from the center and bounces right to you.
Damian Berg back into the lineup. 5'10" senior lineman for Colome.
3rd quarter quickly coming to an end. On the option, the keeper by Sherman, and Sherman will get the 1st down.
Craig, there was 7 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock when Grant-Duel punted this ball away. And we said at the time that the folks from Colome would like nothing better than a good 10-12 yard play drive and eat up the rest of the quarter.
That's what they're doing.
That's exactly what they're doing. This is very impressive by Colome.
If you're Grant-Duel, you got to make a stop now. Get a stop, get a turnover, get the ball back. Still with 1 quarter to go, still easily you could get 2 scores.
Absolutely, and especially with the offense that Grant-Duel has shown during the course of the year. And even at times today.
Derek Beck will pick up 4.
Again, they are just very satisfied picking up 4 and 5 yards at a time. They'll go ahead, work it to 2nd down, work it to 3rd down, convert it, 3 more downs, and the clock keeps rolling. There's going to be 1 more play in this quarter, and that's going to do it.
213 yards rushing for Colome on the day. 88 rushing for Grant-Duel. That's where you give the kudos to those guys on the front line. Atterbury, Sherman, and Berg, the linemen for Colome. Back to pass. Sherman still looking. Gives it off to Loose, but we have a flag. And Mike, I think either illegal man downfield or holding on this one.
Yeah, it could be either one. I didn't really see who threw it, so it was the line judge that threw it. So we'll get the report here.
Well, Grant-Duel may be here. Oh, defensive holding.
Defensive holding on Grant-Duel.
Be declined.
Defensive holding. Defense declined.
They'll take the result of the play.
1st down.
Move the chains. Start the clock, and that's going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter.
When we come back, the start of the 4th quarter, it's the Class 9B Championship on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. One more quarter to go here in Vermillion. I'm Craig Maddock along with Mike Henriksen. The 9B Championship and the Grant-Duel Wildcats have got some work to do.
And it has been all Colome in the 2nd half. They scored 2 quick touchdowns, one coming after a turnover, the lone turnover of the game. They led it 16-14 at halftime. And now Colome just won't give up the football. They stopped the Wildcats on their drive, got the ball back, and have already eaten up over 7 minutes on this drive alone.
221 yards on the ground for the Colome Cowboys. And they're not done yet as we have the first play of the fourth quarter. Derek Beck with a nice run. Oh, he breaks a tackle and dances down the sideline.
What a terrific runner. You know, we saw flashes of that last year in the championship game. But look at this, as the spin, stays on his feet, wants to stay in bounds, but momentum takes him out. But it sets up 1st and goal.
If you're Grant-Duel, you gotta find a way to stop the Colome Cowboys. Otherwise, it's going to get out of hand.
Yep.
Again, Derek Beck on 1st and goal.
But Beck will take that 3-yard carry and keep that clock rolling. By the time they run their next play, you're going to be down at about the 11-minute mark. You can figure about 30 seconds per play when you're figuring things out in high school football as far as keeping that clock running and eating up time.
Again, that front line with Todd Sherman, Curtis Atterbury, Damian Berg. The ends with Ethan Volber and Mitch Schwartz. They've helped put a lot of yards for their club. Back to pass, though. Sherman. Touchdown. Volber, his 3rd touchdown catch of the game.
My initial thought, Craig, when Josh Sherman rolled out to pass, my initial thought was, what are you doing? Well, he's firing a strike to Ethan Volber. That's what he's doing. Touchdown, Colome. Nearly 8 minutes, over 8 minutes on that drive, Craig. And then to score at the end of it, that's just phenomenal.
Going for 2. That is good. Rob Cahoy with the 2-point conversion. Everything is going quite well for the Colome Cowboys.
They have taken over this second half and really exerted themselves. And you pointed it out a couple of times as Cahoy rocking the mohawk there. You've pointed it out. That line has just owned this game. It's going to be very tough, or at least the second half. It's going to be tough for the folks, the Coaches Association, to actually figure out who's the lineman of the game, because they've had some very good play along that line.
And now Grant-Duel. Certainly a team that can be quite explosive. Dustin Johnson is your quarterback.
They can pile up points. There's no question about that. Colome doesn't have this game won yet.
.374 yards of total offense for Colome. 192 for Grant-Duel.
And that's the difference. It was pretty much even when they were both at about 180, right around there. Yep. One had a little more, one a little less. Yep. But since that time, that just shows the dominance in this second half of the Colome Cowboys.
Bryce Houff, the little pooch. Clint Coleman, was on a knee when he took the ball, and that's where you're down.
When you go down to a knee in high school football, if your knee touches, you are down. No one needs to touch you. By the way, I want to clarify something that I said in the first half, too. I made a mistake when I talked about getting outside of the tackle box and the throw downfield. That is not a rule in high school. There is no safe area that you are not called
in the pocket.
Right. There's no in the pocket
between
or out of the pocket that you can be safely throwing the ball away and not called for intentional grounding. So thanks to our buddy Paul, an official in the state, who explained that to us at halftime.
Dustin Johnson with a nice kick. Out of bounds, the tackle by Ethan Volber.
And Craig, here's the key. Again, in this second half, it's been about ball control and not allowing Johnson and that offense on the field, because he does have great ability to do things exactly like that. But when he's playing defense, he's not going to hurt you near as much. and a really nice job of shifting that ball from side to side also, getting that away from the defenders. And he goes out of bounds and stops the clock.
1st and 10, Wildcats. Second back through, Jordan Berg. Check that. That is Brandon Rufer.
Yeah, Rufer has come in and seen a lot of time in the second half. You heard Coach Gower say at halftime, talking to Tom Neiman, that some of his guys are banged up. Of course, it is the second half of the state championship game, though, so they're gutting it out as best they can. But Rufer has come in. He's had a couple of nice carries.
Ethan Robish, Quint Holman, Jamie Brandt. That's the front line for Grant-Duel. 2nd and 9. That one almost picked off. Boy, there was a big crowd.
4 defenders around the intended receiver. That was dangerous. Fortunately for Grant-Duel, it falls incomplete. But again, you know, Dustin Johnson, he's had such great success during the course of the year. He's got a great arm. There was no pressure on him. He believes he can make that throw. You know, the good ones believe that they can thread it in there.
3rd and long. As an equipment check on one of the Colome players. Grant-Duel, if you look at their play selection, Mike, 21 rushing plays, 19 pass plays.
They have tried to be balanced. But again, that's only 38 plays, and a lot of times you need more than that. Down and out.
Another pump fake, and that one is out of bounds. On the line, but just out of bounds.
What an effort by Magadans. He came up with some really nice catches in that first half. Again, hasn't been much of a factor because they haven't had the ball in the second half. There's the pump fake. Magadans runs a great pattern here, and he goes up, and the cameraman very adept at getting out of the way. Nice quickness shown over there.
Even after 3 ball games,
that's right.
Quick.
Still got the fresh legs. The AstroTurf hasn't taken it out of his legs. Watch the fake here on 4th down.
Right here. 3rd punt of the game for Grant-Duel by Johnson. And doesn't get much of a Grant-Duel bounce, but Colome will take over at their 23. 10 minutes to play in the 9B championship. Grant-Duel, 1 title, 1 runner-up. Their 3rd trip to the Dome. Colome, they won the title in '88. They've had 3 second-place finishes, including the one from last year against Iroquois.
Last year and the first year of the playoffs, 1981. When Gregory and Tripp County, Highway 18, very well represented. Winter, Gregory and Colome all in the Dome the first year.
1st and 10 for the Colome Cowboys. Quarterback Josh Sherman. Derek Beck, Rob Cahoy are the running backs. Sherman on the quarterback keeper. Boy, he just doesn't stop. Gets to the 30, a gain of 6.
Jamie Brandt there to wrestle him down finally. Brandt has had himself a real nice game. But again, inbounds, clock continues to roll.
Did we ever officially find out how how long the drive was for Colome?
I did not.
It was about 8 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
it was over 8 minutes. I do know that. Yeah, because there was 7:10 to play when they took it over, and they scored with 11:03.
2nd and 4. Here's Cahoy. And Cahoy gets tripped up. In fact, Dustin Johnson tripped him up, able to get a couple of extra yards, but Rob Cahoy
with another first down.
Just checking here with rushing. That'll be his 8th carry of the game.
And Craig Grant-Duel punted the ball away with 10 minutes left to go in the ball game. Let's make note of that and see when Grant-Duel actually gets the football back.
If you're Colome, you don't give it back. You just keep running the clock. And first down after first down. Beck gets tripped up.
But even then, he falls forward for positive yardage.
Brandon Rufer tripping him up.
Yeah, you just take 3-4 yards at a time. Keep that clock rolling. Again, by the time they snap this ball, it's going to be under 8 minutes to play in the game.
37 rushing attempts for Colome.
Are you checking the record book on that?
37 is the record.
Really?
By Willow Lake back in the early 80s. Up the middle. That is Beck. And he's going to be close to another first down. So this would be a record that has been broken, wouldn't it?
Nope.
Well, that's individual. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
team records.
56.
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
56.
That was 40 for Colome there, their last one.
Believe me, if they have their way, they'll get to that 56. And again, now under 8 minutes. And another fresh set of downs.
I don't know if anybody's going to break the net yards rushing for a team in Class 9B. Freeman back in 1996, 553 yards rushing. That's a ton of yards.
That's phenomenal.
Quarterback keeper by Sherman as he takes the shot at the 45.
And that was the year, as a matter of fact, you bring that up. Jim Eisenbry, the coach of that team, is my guest on SportsMax this weekend. One of my guests. And he talks about the fact, that year, the big three, as they called them, Schultz, Hofer, and oh, sure, I just had it. Anyway, I'll think of it in a moment. They were juniors that year. And the following year, when they came back, they had lost an awful lot of their linemen. And they said to the big three, okay, 97, you're going to have to carry us until our linemen come along. Well, boy, did they.
Yes, they did. 2nd and 5 for Colome. The pitch to Beck. Cahoy in front, gets a nice block. Boy, the Cowboys, nothing is stopping them here in the second half.
Walter was the other one I was thinking of.
Wouldn't have to be Seth, would it?
Yes.
Seth Walter?
Yes, I believe it was.
Yeah. How do you do in wrestling, too, by the way? Pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, Josh Hofer had 272 yards by himself in 1996. Wow.
1st and 10, Colome. The Grant-Duel, 18. Inside handoff to Beck.
Sherman and Beck popped shoulder pads there on that handoff.
Loss of 2 on the play.
But here we go, and I know that I'm belaboring this point a bit, and I don't want to flog a deceased Eckline, but it's going to be under 6 minutes by the time that Colome snaps this ball. They've eaten up 4 minutes with this particular drive.
If you're Grant-Duel, the only one way to stop that is you got to stop Colome.
Mm-hmm.
You got to stop him on this drive.
Strip the ball, do something. And Josh Sherman is going to go over and use the timeout, but he's going to wait for the 25-second clock to wind down, and they'll take the timeout.
Timeout, Colome. First timeout.
Looking at the history of Class 9B, I want to mention some of the great teams in Class 9B. You mentioned those Freeman teams. Of course, Tripp, they were dominant.
Oh, yeah.
Early on in the mid-'80s.
Yep, Steve Entringer had a heck of a program down there. As a matter of fact, I think it might have been a little bit later than that I remember doing a Tripp game up at Grant-Duel. That Wall team from 1990, Kent Anderson.
Freeman had most of their success in 9A, but they won one title, I know, in Class 9B.
And remember, it hasn't been all that long since we went to 3 classes. 1999 is when we added that 3rd class, the 9AA class.
Updated stats, log on to sdpb.org. 431 yards total offense for Colome. It is 2nd down and 12 for the Cowboys. Sherman has passed for 3 touchdowns this afternoon. Now he's going to try to run for one. And he will.
And the block that set him free was the big man, Todd Sherman. 6'5", 250, the senior. The theme has been unfinished business for the Colome Cowboys, and it looks like they're wrapping things up nicely.
Sherman has...
There was the big guy, Todd Sherman.
Josh Sherman has thrown for 3 scores, run for 1. Plus, he's been a big part of that linebacking core.
Yes, he has. He's played very, very well defensively. Once again, a reminder that the Wildcats led this game 14-8. They trailed at 16-14 at halftime, but it has been all Cowboys in the second half.
As you're watching the Class 9B championship on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. The Colome Cowboys have scored 36 straight points over Grant-Duel. Bryce Houff will kick off for the Cowboys. Clint Homan for Grant-Duel.
Oh, man.
I heard that from up here. Another big hit.
Berg
on the field.
Berg
and he's still
Bober.
down.
Man, oh, man. Out on the wing, away from the ball. Berg and Vober. Jordan Berg of Grant-Duel is the man that's down. Let's see if we've got it. It's on that left side. There it was, just right at the end of that on the left side of the screen. Just got a piece of it. And
you could hear the pop up here.
That was a big hit.
Grant-Duel, though, will have the ball at their own 37.
And I believe the Grant-Duel is going to the bench. I believe they have taken out most of their starters. They have.
They have. So
Shane Boehm is in there. Michael Tall is in there. A pair of sophomores, number 4 and number 2.
As the quarterback is Taylor Berg.
5'8" and a freshman. What a great experience for these kids.
And now here comes the Colome second defense. Why not?
Yep, absolutely.
Not? Get these kids in the game.
That's a great move by Troy Gower. Gower was the one who started it. He knew the game was out of reach. Go ahead, put in the kids that have worked so hard for you. Class move by Troy Gower. And then, of course, Kevin Gracer matches it.
You know these kids right now, they got butterflies.
Oh, yeah.
They're in the ballgame. Getting a chance to play in the state tournament. And running to the outside, Clint Holman.
Spencer Street, 46. The 5'7" freshman. Yep, 46 instead of 45. Nice run. He's going to be among their leading rushers. Look at this. Gets around the corner.
Yep, right. Beat the linebackers out there.
Yeah, excellent.
Down the sideline.
Excellent job.
1st and 10, Grant-Duel at the Colome 31. The quarterback is Taylor Berg. And a little bit of a busted play, and Taylor Berg is going to be tackled.
35 with the tackle. That would be Bryce Hoff.
He's been doing the kickoff duties all day long, and now in on the tackle. Coming in for Colome, Eric Liebrick.
6 foot 235 and a sophomore. Also in there is Nathan Otis. Otis ran the ball earlier in the game, had a real nice carry, the sophomore.
Shane Boehm is the fullback. Spencer Street, the tailback here for Grant-Duel.
Greg Kreitner is in the lineup too, an 8th grader. Number
Spencer
11.
Street with the carry, and Eric Liebrick, who just came into the ball game, in on the tackle. Also Michael Rohde.
Yeah, we want to make sure that we get them all. Cole Shippey is in, the sophomore linebacker for Colome. Of course, you got to remember, in 9B, you can't go too deep.
No.
You know, I mean, there's not a whole lot of folks that are just standing on the sidelines.
Jordan Adolph is the center for Grant-Duel. And James Adler, who just went offside, is in. James wanted to be known that he was.
Dead ball foul, false start.
We hadn't mentioned his name yet, but he made sure that we did there. But again, Craig, this is how you build a program, and this is what Troy Gower has done over the course of the years. There are teams that you will see every now and then that make a good run and are ranked, or maybe even make it to the Dome, but then you don't hear from them again for a while, and that's because they have a good class or two of athletes. In Grant-Duel, you've got a program. These guys win football games year in and year out. Just because they don't always make it to the Dome doesn't mean they don't have a heck of a program.
Spencer Street again with the carry. Also in for Grant-Duel, Derek Wolfschlager. He's on the line. Also in, Ryan Boehm. It's going to bring up 4th down and 18.
I see that Zach Harder is in, the freshman for Colome. They have him listed at 150 pounds.
150?
They're lying. I would be willing to bet.
Brad Meyer also in for Grant-Duel.
Going for it on 4th down here.
Back to pass. Now the quarterback keeper, Taylor Berg.
Oh! And Zach Harder comes up with a big-time tackle.
Is he still 150 pounds?
You know what? He looked bigger than that on that play. That was a nice tackle by the young man. Take a look, as coming around the corner is Taylor Berg, and coming up to make the tackle.
Well, doing what the corner is supposed to do.
Absolutely. That's
Timeout, Grant-Duel. Their second timeout.
I believe that means
Grant-Duel.
I believe that means that Zach Harder now has one more tackle in his career than Deion Sanders has.
Oh, again, we've got more football tonight. It's the 9A championship. Scotland will defend their championship as they will take on Northwestern.
Looking forward to that. Don't forget sdpb.org. Just like you see on the big blue hand there. You can check out all of the stats, plus get programming information. You can also order DVDs of these games online. Of course, the folks from Public TV making those available. You can buy them in the lobby here at the Dome of any of the games, or you can go online at sdpb.org or call toll-free South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
Zach Harder is the quarterback for Colome. And on the quarterback keeper, Zach Harder.
And he gets tackled by Taylor Berg, the man that he just tackled on the last series.
Again, Zach Harder, their number 7. He is a freshman.
Checking into the lineup now for Colome is number 51. That's Bryce Farley, freshman lineman. You know, we didn't touch on it at all this year, Craig, because it is sort of old news. But remember that Kevin Gracer wasn't the coach of the Colome Cowboys until a couple of days before practice a year ago. they didn't have anyone to coach the football team. And Kevin, who is not on the staff of Colome Schools, stepped in, took it over. It was a tumultuous time. They were going to lose some players. Some people were threatening to open enroll. He came in, and not only did he settle that situation down, he turned them into winners again. And it's been a terrific 2-year run for Kevin Gracer and for his staff, Kevin Kaiser and Brent Olson and Gene Bertram, as well as some volunteers. So congratulations again to Kevin. I will be very curious to see what his reaction is after the game, because he's one of the quieter coaches, as you can tell from the interviews with Tom.
Chris Welker is in for Colome. Eric Liebrick is in as one more play. As a first down for Colome. Grant-Duel, we still looking at some of the players in that we haven't mentioned yet. I think everybody is in, Mike.
I think so. I believe so.
Coming in is Darryl Bly for Colome, split. And the second back through. Watch out on this one. Eventually run down. That is Brock Dufek.
Yep, Brock Dufek, the 130-pound freshman running back. And they will move the chains and start the clock. And one more play in this 9B championship. But Craig, again, it has been ball control in the second half. Colome has scored 36 consecutive points. And as you mentioned, or as we talked about, with 10 minutes, the folks from Grant-Duel gave up the ball. They didn't get it back until the 5-minute mark, and by that time the ball game was over.
Congratulations to Colome. They've won their second football championship. Oh, and they got to run one more play.
Oh, are you kidding me? With 0.7 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, everyone's getting ready to get all excited.
Yeah.
They'll have to
delay
wait.
game,
They call,
offense, 5 yards.
They call it delay a game. But again, a rule is a rule is a rule. And as the old saying goes, if you're going to let one slide, which one are you going to let slide? So they will have to snap it.
And Colome wins the championship. Congratulations to the Cowboys.
That's as big a smile as you'll see out of Kevin Gracer, too. Just a very low-key individual, was a heck of an athlete in his day.
And congratulations to Grant-Duel. They'll
Tremendous
finish
year.
the season 11-1. And they've got the program on they'll be back.
Absolutely. And again, we just can't say enough about Troy Gower.
And you look at the number of kids out for Grant-Duel. They have a ton of kids out. They only have 50 kids in the high school. But there's still a lot of them that are playing in the 7th and on the 8th grade level.
And it's just a real testament. Again, Grant-Duel, they get here, they get out-muscled in that second half. A great performance by the Colome Cowboys. But boy, don't judge Grant-Duel just based on this second half. Again, that is a good football team. And they've had a heck of a run, and they'll continue to have a heck of a run up in the northeast part of the state.
Let's hand out some hardware as they will hand those out at the center part of the field. Let's head off to our public address announcer, Paul Ortman.
The South Dakota Coaches Association selects an outstanding lineman and back in each of the title games. The recipient of the outstanding lineman of this afternoon's 9B championship game goes to Curtis Atterbury of Colome. And the outstanding back award to number 45, Derek Beck of Colome. And members of the media attending the championship game also select a most valuable performer The Joe Robbie Award goes to Josh Sherman of Colome. Ladies and gentlemen, I now once again direct your attention to the center of the playing field to present the awards to the 2007 runner-up and championship teams for Class 9B football are Kurt Hart and Bob Sittig from the Board of Directors of the South Dakota High School Activities Association. Assisting with the team awards presentation are representatives from the Activity Association's corporate partners, Travis Slaba, PAC from Sanford Vermilion Medical Center, and Sarah Mogg from Ramkota Hotels. The runner-up trophy has been awarded to Troy Gower and the Grant-Duel Wildcats. And now for the championship of 9B, head coach Kevin Gracer and the Colome Cowboys. The Cowboys finished the season 11 wins, 1 loss. Fans, you may now join your teams on the field.
More to come from Vermilion when we come back on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
The 2007 South Dakota High School State Football Championships are brought to you in part by your membership in the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting, by Sanford Health, and by Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Dakota.
All right, welcome back to Vermilion and Colome. In its second straight appearance, they get it done this year. Kevin Gracer, the head coach of the Cowboys, and just a little better feeling this year, huh?
Well, this is a lot better feeling. Like I said, this is for our fans. This is for those seniors that did just a great job. It's for our last year's seniors who started this, got us here last year, and then this year's seniors to finish it.
And everybody's going to remember the fancy fake punt and all that, but you guys just in that second half got tough with them and beat them up and got it done that way, didn't you?
We wore them down, I think, a little bit and persevered. So I think that the punt just gave us a little momentum going into halftime, and then we just started taking it at them, and the line just did a great job for our backs, and we kept the ball. We kept the ball away from them. That was very important.
That looked good in the case, won't it?
Yes, looked great.
Congratulations, Ben.
Thank you.
Thanks for all your help.
Thank you very much.
All right, Kevin Gracer and the Colome Cowboys are the 9B champions, and we'll be back to wrap it up from Vermilion right after this on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
The 2007 South Dakota High School Football State Championships are brought to you in part by your membership in the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting, by Dakota Bank, and by Mid-Continent Communications.
Welcome back to the DakotaDome in Vermilion from Sioux Falls Sports Radio, KWSN in Sioux Falls. I'm Craig Maddock along with Mike Henriksen from SportsMax Radio. Final stats of this 9B championship. Congratulations to Colome. Mike, they had a slow start in the first quarter, but came on strong the rest of the way.
Grant-Duel led this game 14-6 at one point, but Colome rolls off 38.
30.
Yeah.
Yep,
My math is gone.
Thanks.
38 consecutive points there, and they just took over in that second half. They got a quick touchdown on their opening drive of the second half, and then a turnover, the lone turnover by Grant-Duel. Colome cashes that in. All of a sudden, it's 30-14, and it was just complete domination in that second half by Colome, especially when you take a look at time of possession. Total yards at one time was very even. Both teams had about 180 yards or so. You can see how Colome dominated statistically in that second half.
Highlights from the game. It was all Grant-Duel in the first quarter, and then later on it was Colome, but Grant-Duel and head coach Troy Gower in his 12th year, and the Colome Cowboys making their 5th trip to the Dome, and Josh Sherman, beautiful pass to Schwartz. Look at that one. That one's going to be remembered a long time. Derek Beck with the fake punt and went the distance. And 3 touchdown passes from Sherman to Volber. And here's Derek Beck. Yep, defensively, there was some hitting going on in this ball game.
Very much so. There's a prime example. Both teams working really hard. Beck staying on his feet. Just a tremendous performance by him. And then Sherman over the middle to Volber again. There's Kevin Gracer.
Congratulations to the Colome Cowboys, their 2nd title in the football championships. We'll wrap things up when we come back here on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
The 2007 South Dakota High School State Football Championships are brought to you in part by your membership in the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting, by Sanford Health, and by Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Dakota.
Back in the Dome in the 9B Championship. How about a little love for the West River boys, the guys in green from Colome, with the 9B Championship this year, and a win over a very good Grant-Duel team this afternoon. That wraps up our session here this afternoon. We'll see you again tonight at 7 o'clock Central Time with the pregame for the 9A Championship. It'll be Scotland and Northwestern, and we will see you then on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. I am Tom Neiman for the SDPB crew, Craig Henriksen, Craig Maddock, Mike Henriksen, and the guys upstairs. We'll see you tonight for more football on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Good evening.